4-5, check Mike. Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you want to break in for Midland?
No,
Okay.
Midland's always the iffy one, but if you're watching us right now, if you're currently tuning back into our stream here, welcome everybody. We just got a tornado warning in for Midland County, which John is zooming into here. Right here, southwestern Midland County. So this is just southwest of Sanford, southwest of Midland, right along, just south of M20, right here, out of Mount Pleasant to Midland. Right here, I believe, is where their concern is. If you could hit velocity, oh yeah, right there. That is where their concern is. So just south of M20, towards Porter. This is a very farmland-heavy area. So when you start seeing spin-ups, this is where it's going to be towards Midland County. Again, right here is where they're concerned. There is a tornado warning in Midland County for M20. Sanford, you're included in that. We'll watch how this storm is continuing to move to the east-northeast. Also in Gratiot County, there's a tornado warning. And now in Saginaw County, Merrill, you were part of that. That's where I have some family. I will be texting them. So right now, it looks like their main concern is just south of M40, no, right on M46?
Yeah, I'd say right along M46.
Right along M46.
Just east of Alma.
I am texting my uncle as we speak.
I'd say approaching Wheeler, and yeah, going towards Merrill.
Yeah, so Gratiot County, Midland,
I'd say
Saginaw
right along
County.
M46.
That is where Breckenridge, just outside of Merrill there, into Gratiot County.
Yep, Breckenridge.
That is where we're watching closely. There is a tornado warning down there. So we are live again on our socials to bring you this coverage. It quieted down for the 11 o'clock news, and then all of a sudden things, again, kind of got out of hand. I told John during the 11, I think this line of storms is recycling, and we explained that a little earlier this evening. Coming off Lake Michigan, that line of storms recycled. And now, as they moved inland, they were strong towards Newaygo, Mecosta, Lake, Wexford. Then they recycled. Now we are seeing them strong again for areas along US 127 and I-75. So areas towards southwestern Midland, just southern Midland County in general, Gratiot and Saginaw counties, there's tornado warnings for you currently. Right now the main concern is east of Alma along M46, cruising towards Breckenridge, heading towards Merrill, continuing down M46 towards Hemlock. Midland County, these areas just south of M20. That is where we're currently seeing a little bit of rotation, and it looks like it's south of M20 in Midland County. So that is what we were watching as well. We just got another, that's a marine warning there. So again, 3 tornado warnings for Midland, Saginaw, Gratiot counties right now. Again, very fringe of our viewing area, but that is why we're on socials right now. So I know many people do or can get us over air, and I do know there's some people on cable that get us on M20 and also M46. But as I was doing, I was texting my uncle. If you know anybody in these areas, get to their safe spot.
Yep.
Let them know you need to get to a basement. If they don't have a basement, interior room with no windows in some houses. We're continuing the severe coverage that we have. We do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings for the central lower, but right now our attention is for tornado warnings in southern Midland, as well as Gratiot and also Saginaw counties.
Yep, so I would say if you do know me from, you did used to work in the Tri-Cities area. Yeah, this is definitely a situation where if you're anywhere in, I would say all 3 of the Tri-Cities at this point, Midland, Bay City, Saginaw, and all surrounding areas, making sure that you are getting to your safe zone or you know exactly where you need to go within the next few minutes. And staying where you need to be until the tornado warning is either expired or passes through your area. Let's go ahead and go back to velocity. Let's go ahead and see why we're talking about these different types of tornado warnings. And unfortunately, as we get farther away from the radar, it's a little bit harder for us to see some of these, what we call notches or what we call couplets within how the winds are behaving. So I would say as of right now, again, along M46.
M46, just
Breckenridge,
north of M46, yeah, Breckenridge right there.
Wheeler.
Heading towards Merrill.
Yep.
My family all grew up here in Merrill. I still have aunts and uncles in Merrill. I have cousins in Merrill. My dad used to own Jam Store in southern Midland County, just outside of Saginaw County. So this whole area I am very familiar with. I have cousins that live in Midland, aunts and uncles that live in Midland. Used to be down here every other weekend. This whole area, this farmland area, is very susceptible to tornado development. Many areas down here will see these spin-ups. And again, this spin-up that we're concerned with in Gratiot County is east of Elma. And I saw someone just said that the sirens were going off in Elma. It's east of Elma right now that we are seeing this spin-up. A lot of we see everyone interacting with us. We'll get to your areas here very shortly. The areas to the north,
I would also say
right now. It's more the central lower counties.
I would also say Porter. If you're going into southwest Midland County.
Yep. That kind of broke off two different waves there. Mm-hmm. We got a little bit of rotation to the north and a little bit of rotation to the south.
Right.
So again, what we're watching is south of M20 in Midland County. So Midland right now, that is not a huge concern, but we'll watch you very closely. It's mainly southwest Midland County, northern Gratiot County, and then western portions right now of Saginaw County. Now, for those who are asking in the comments, you're asking about Sheboygan.
Sure, let's
Gaylord.
go a little bit further north.
Let's kind of just show you exactly what we're dealing with right now. So this is the line of storms right now. Not very well organized, but it's also doing something that I have never seen with these winds. It is just back and forth, every direction. I stepped outside here at the studio. It was dead quiet, but very eerie. That is what you're seeing with this line of storms. Right now, no warnings for the northern lower. In fact, John, if you could show the tornado watch, they've actually modified the tornado watch as well. There's no warnings for us, but they actually have now the tornado warning still for the central portions of the northern lower. From the tip of the mitt down towards Crawford County, they've dropped the tornado watch for areas off to the west. So there you go. The tornado watch is for Emmett, Sheboygan, Charlevoix, Antrim, Kalkaska, Otsego, Crawford, Missaukee, Roscommon, Ogemaw, as well as areas down towards Aranac, Iosco counties, and then also all the central lower counties. That goes until early tomorrow morning. And now we have those warnings, severe thunderstorm warning in Clare, Isabella, Midland, but also the tornado warnings for areas of Saginaw as well as Gratiot and Midland counties. That is what we are currently watching. So the line of storms, yes, they still might pack a punch, but as of right now, they're saying strong there for the northern lower. Even if you are watching us right now in the northern lower counties, areas like Gaylord, Charlevoix, areas down towards Kalkaska, make sure you are prepped for some strong thunderstorms. We could still have some packed winds in here, but right now it's just not severe criteria for the northern lower counties. So you're seeing some stronger storms at the moment with some heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds. Adam just left and he said it was pouring here in Cadillac, but again, we are not seeing severe criteria. Areas of the central lower, that is where we are seeing those severe storms right now and even tornado warnings. So if you are tuning in to the 910 News Facebook page, to the 910 News YouTube channel, to my Facebook page, and you know of people in that area, I have family in that area, let them know. Right now, it doesn't matter what time of night it is, text them. Be like, hey, turn on your news source or us and check this out. Where are you? Where's this rotation? What are we watching closely, John?
Absolutely. Wake them up.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and go back down. So technically, we do cover northern Michigan, but this is becoming a little bit more of a robust line even as you go farther south. Let me go ahead and turn on.
It's done the old recycle trick.
Right. So as you can see, I mean, you're talking about several severe thunderstorm warnings and even several tornado warnings. You're talking about those. Let me go ahead and pause this. You're talking about Bay County, 1245. You're talking about Midland County, 1245. You're talking about Gratiot County until 1215. You're talking about Clinton County until 1215.
Oh,
and
I see. Saginaw is not included. Well, northern Saginaw.
The northern
County.
fringe.
Okay. Yep.
So as you're going north of the city.
But those areas that are near Merrill still get to your safe place because it is traveling down M46 towards Merrill. So even if you are right here in Saginaw County, just because you're not in the tornado warning doesn't mean, oh, it's going to miss us. No, still be prepared to head to your safe place.
As James Spann would say, respect the polygon.
Yep. Gladwin. Someone did ask about Gladwin. We now have a severe thunderstorm warning for Gladwin County. That is now moving into...
Let's go. We just got a few more new warnings in
Missaukee,
northern.
Roscommon,
So now we're
Clare
talking.
continues, but right here, Gladwin, you continue with a new severe thunderstorm warning as well. That is part of the National Weather Service in Gaylord's coverage area.
Yep.
So those three are with National Weather Service in Gaylord. And then Clare, Isabella, Midland, Saginaw, those are all part of, Clare, Isabella are part of Grand Rapids
Correct.
coverage area. Midland is a part of Detroit's coverage area. It's a very odd thing with Michigan. We have 4 different National Weather Service offices.
It can be a little confusing sometimes, even to us, but yeah, the different counties are covered by different National Weather Service offices, so most of the time they're talking to each other in situations like this, so we can coordinate different types of watches, different types of warnings, things of that nature.
So eastern Missaukee right now under that severe thunderstorm warning. So areas over towards M55 along like towards Merritt, heading into northern Missaukee County, northeastern Missaukee County. You have that warning as this line is moving through right now. Expect extremely gusty winds, possibly a little bit of hail, torrential rain. And then over here in Roscommon County, right now areas towards Houghton Lake, cruising M55 towards Prudenville, heading towards West Branch. You have a severe thunderstorm warning, and that's because of this line, but not to mention this line behind it that is going to continue to move to the east. Clare County, it is now mainly east of 127. So Harrison, areas towards Clare, it is now moving to your east towards Gladwin County, which is now severe thunderstorm warned. And that is moving towards Gladwin. Areas towards Beaverton, looks like it's mainly northern Gladwin County for right now, but you'll start seeing this backside here shortly.
So I just want to go ahead and put a track on just this line, even though into some of our northern zones, closer to the tip of the mid, now you're starting to see these storms moving on shore near Old Mission Peninsula, your Antrim County, you're talking about Charlevoix, even areas near Petoskey soon, Harbor Springs, you're going to be getting in on some of these storms, and even though they're not technically severe warned, they're going to pack a punch. So let's go ahead and just get a track.
Yeah, let people know how
Yep.
fast this is moving right now and where you can expect this. So if you're just tuning in, right now we have a tornado warning in southern Midland County, mainly south of M20, and then we also have a tornado warning in Gratiot County and then also northern portions of Saginaw County. Right now the other warnings are in Missaukee, Roscommon, Clare, Gladwin. Ogama could be down the road here. Isabella and Midland counties also in the severe thunderstorm warning. No warnings up here towards M72 or north, but again, this line is moving northeast at about 55 miles per hour. It will be towards Grayling here very shortly, towards Boyne City around 11:58, Mount Forest around 11:59, West Branch around midnight, Harbor Springs around midnight as well, Petoskey around midnight, Boyne Falls around midnight, Otsego Lake, Pinconning, Cross Village, Elmira, Sterling, and Lovells all around midnight to about 12:05 to 12:10. That is when you'll see this line of storms start to kind of impact you. You'll start seeing those gusty winds, you'll start seeing some rain, hear the thunder, and then you'll start being into the middle of some of these cells. If we could, John, let's take in the tornado warned areas.
Yep.
Kind of get an update on.
Let's get a new scan in.
Yeah, let's see what Midland is looking like. Again, this is just south of Sanford, south of US 10, and you can see we are getting some of the velocities back that are showing us rotation. So right here, just south of Sanford, just south of M20.
And this is getting pretty close to Midland.
Areas in between Midland and Mount Pleasant, Oil City. These spots need to be on the lookout right now. Get to your safe spots. This is where we are seeing some rotation heading right towards Midland, downtown Midland. That is where we're seeing some rotation. That is why right now we are seeing a tornado warned storm. Right there, it's moving to the east, northeast, right there. That last one is telling me right there. That is a tornado. Well, rotation. And this is the problem with storms at midnight. You cannot see. Do not try to go out and say, there's a tornado coming down M20. Do not try to go out and see this. Get to your safe spot and hunker down and have us with you. Have a way to protect yourself, a helmet, some closed shoes so your feet aren't sticking out. Make sure if you have a basement, that's where you need to be, away from windows. If you don't have a basement, an interior room with no windows.
Well, let's take a look at this one in Gratiot. That's a pretty
That is
tight couplet right here.
right there. So areas east of North Star, south of Wheeler, south of
newest
Merrill. I would not be shocked here if they extend this into the rest of Saginaw County. Again, this is south of Wheeler and Breckenridge, moving northeast towards Lakefield, Merrill potentially. Again, that tight couplet right there, that is rotation, signifying that there could be a tornado there in Gratiot County heading towards Saginaw County. So again, these are two tornadoes that are about 10 miles apart, maybe 15 miles apart.
Yeah.
Two signatures of tornadoes that are not far away from each other. But this is the history we've seen with this line all day. In Wisconsin, they had numerous tornadoes just miles apart with this entire line embedded in the line of storms. So there you go. That is where we have the couplet that is signifying rotation for us. So what you're looking at is not traditional radar.
And they just went with the tornado warning into northern Saginaw County.
Did they?
Yep.
Okay. So all these areas right here, you're seeing the green and reds. You have green going towards the radar, red going away from the radar. So when you're supposed to have just a green swath, but you have red mixed in there, that's showing us green's going that way, red's going that way. That is signifying rotation. That is how you see tornadoes embedded in these storms. And that's what we're showing you at the moment. So this is going to be towards Saginaw around 1225. So in the next half hour. Frankenmuth around 1237. Again, if you have family here in northern Saginaw County, make sure you text them. Let them know, hey.
Call them, wake them up.
Yeah, wake them up. It doesn't matter. This is the potential of a tornado running from northern Gratiot County and into Saginaw County. And the reason we are showing you this on social media is because we do have viewers down that way.
Yes,
I do know people that I talk to in Merrill that watch us on the daily. Now, in Midland, we're actually on cable in Midland. We don't cover Midland, but again, another potential for a tornado in Midland County. That right here, that couplet has me looking at M20 still, just south of Sanford, cruising into Midland. Again, this is what we're watching very closely. If you're in these areas watching us right now, I highly suggest you turn on NEM or another station in that area.
Yeah, I think Chris is going to be, he's probably on the air
Chris,
right now covering this.
Chief Meteorologist Chris Easlick is
great
a
guy.
good friend, great guy. He would definitely be on top of this. All those stations down there are definitely going to give you some great information. And if you're watching us right now in northern Michigan, we'll definitely give you the information as well.
Let's go ahead and reset, Mike. I want to go ahead and just touch base on some of these other storms that are moving throughout northern Michigan, a little more into our area. So you still do have the severe thunderstorm warning. That's for Missaukee County. You're talking about that till 1245. Roscommon County, 1245. This is going to be very eastern Clare County. You got about another 15 minutes. So if I would say you're west of 127, I'd say you're mostly in the clear, at least from anything severe. If you're east of 127, still making sure you're in a sturdy building away from doors and windows. Gladwin County, it's a pretty nasty cell moving your way. 1245 is when that will be expiring. And as we take you a little bit farther north again, some of these storms still going to be packing a punch. You're still going to talk about wind gusts probably at least 40, 50 miles an hour as they continue to move on shore. So Kalkaska, Mansalona, Bel Air, East Jordan, Charlevoix, Harbor Springs. We'll go ahead and zoom in and get a few more towns. Petoskey, Boyne City, Elmira. Again, Mansalona, Kalkaska. You've got a pretty good nasty storm on top of you right now. Grayling, Frederick, Otsego Lake, Gaylord, not too far from you. And even going towards the tip of the mitt, Pellston, Cross Village, Carp Lake, and then eventually moving towards the Straits.
Looking with Detroit's radar, an update here on Saginaw, Midland County storm.
Sure, we'll go back to that.
It looks like right now, there definitely looks like a signature. I know we don't have the Detroit radar in our system.
Yeah, let me go ahead and see if we can see anything.
But there definitely looks like there could be multiple spin-ups, one in northwestern Saginaw County, close to Merrill, mainly north of M46. Yeah, it looks like it's either in Merrill or heading north of Merrill right now. And then also in eastern Gratiot County, it looks like they're still dealing with some rotation. Yeah, you see it right there. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
So right there. And then this one up here north of Merrill, that one's heading to the northeast in Midland County. So this is kind of what we're watching right now for areas south of M46. And this is heading east-northeast. So this is heading towards Swan Creek, Saginaw, Hemlock on M46. These areas right now, I know a lot of people have been asking or saying they have family in this area. Call them.
Yep.
It is
Call them,
12:01.
text
It
them,
doesn't
wake
matter
them
if
up.
they have to wake up at 5 a.m. for work. Call them so they can get to work tomorrow. They need to be in their safe spots right now in Saginaw County, Southern Midland County, and Eastern Gratiot County. These storms have been doing this all night. They've just been embedding this rotation, and being the middle of the night, that is...
I would say right now, if you're southwest or even northwest of Saginaw,
Yes.
right near M46 where M52 comes in, and then even M47, anywhere between Midland and Freeland.
Yeah, Freeland. Yep, that's another one.
Yep.
And then on the backside of that, Auburn, be ready, because right now what we're seeing with these winds here towards Midland is it doesn't look like we have a distinct couplet right now in Midland County, but that doesn't mean that it could recycle. Right now, this is the concern, is Midland and South. That is where we are seeing some rotation. We are not seeing a distinct rotation right now, but you still have a tornado warning because this could recycle. You could see this start to organize again. And this whole area, M20 South, is known for recycling because it is more farmland. It has that ability to recycle tornadoes and storms like this. So again, we have that tornado warning in southern Midland, as well as eastern Gratiot and northern Saginaw counties there, right towards Merrill, Breckenridge, heading down M46. Ooh, right there just south of, or on M20 heading towards Midland. That is a very intense spot of rain.
That is a nasty cell.
I would not be surprised if that could be a hail core. But Sanford to Midland, get in your safe places. Right now in Midland County. That is where we again have the potential for a tornado. Midland down to Merrill, areas back to the west towards Breckenridge. That is what we're watching with this line as it is currently moving northeast at about 55 miles per hour. Brandy in Prudenville, you guys will be seeing these storms probably within the next, not these storms towards Midland, but severe storms moving through in the next 20 minutes or so.
And I do know a lot of our viewers, they also do have family downstate as well, including myself. I have a lot of family in Metro Detroit, and there are several active warnings currently moving. I think I did see something in the chat about Genesee County.
Yes, someone said in Howell, the sirens are going off as they speak.
Yep, severe thunderstorm warning currently for Genesee until 1 o'clock in the morning.
But be on your toes because this line right here, I mean, from Saginaw through Genesee is looking
northern suburbs
more
of
packed.
Yes, even northern suburbs of Metro Detroit, Ingham County, 12:15 tornado warning. They just put one out for Livingston County, tornado warning, 12:45 in the morning. And then we're also talking about Oakland County, severe thunderstorm warning, 1:15.
Waterford right now, not a whole lot of activity, but that cell just off to the west, again, is what we're watching very closely down that way.
I have family in Jackson, severe thunderstorm warning, 1 o'clock in the morning, and even going farther south, Branch and St. Joseph, right near the
and this
Indiana
line
border,
just east of Grand Rapids earlier was showing distinct tornadoes. Like there was no doubt that these tornadoes were on the ground earlier, just east of Grand Rapids. So again, this line has a history. It's just going through the cycles of refreshing. It hit Wisconsin, refreshed over the lake, recycled, hit the immediate Lake Michigan shoreline, recycled at about US 131, and now we're seeing it again come back to life. And that's where we're seeing this right now for those areas of southern Midland, Saginaw, and then kind of right now jumping Genesee County back down into areas towards Lansing, Jackson. So again, we'll continue to watch this very closely. Those areas for those people asking, eastern UP, northern lower, there are no current severe thunderstorm warnings along M72 or north. Doesn't mean the storms aren't strong. You are still going to be looking at the potential for some damaging winds, as well as some heavy rain and possibly some small hail, but nothing that is at severe criteria. So Mother Nature could give you the old natural alarm clock here as we cruise on. Oh, there's some new ones. Oh no, that is
so I did just want to bring to your attention areas farther west, closer to the Lake Michigan shoreline. A lot of the tornado watches have been dropped.
Yep.
So areas from Leelanau, Benzie, Grand Traverse, Manistee, Wexford, all of those tornado watches have been dropped.
Yep, Mason, Lake, Osceola, Oceana, Newaygo, Macassa, Montcalm, Grand Rapids area. those watches have been dropped as this system is working its way east-northeast.
Correct.
But go back to that, John, and even though you don't have warnings right now, you still have a tornado watch in Emmett, Sheboygan, Charlevoix, Antrim, Otsego, Kalkaska, Crawford, because that line is continuing to push north, and this line, again, has been very sporadic when it comes to just how it wants to refresh and regenerate.
And unfortunately, we could see something still develop, like we are seeing a little bit more downstate right now. So that's still something to watch as we go throughout these next few minutes.
We have a ghost in the studio? What was that? Something
don't
fell
know.
over there. That scared me a little bit, actually. I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to put the radar back up and go check that out really quick.
Yeah, Everett
But,
Everett, you are in the clear at the moment. But again, Midland, Bay counties, as well as Saginaw counties under a tornado warning at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and kind of zoom into this for you. Go back down here towards M46 as well as M20. That is what we have been watching closely for Midland. The last few scans showing a little bit better conditions here. It looks like might still be seeing a little bit of rotation.
Yeah, go ahead and zoom in, Michael. Come on over to the wall.
Yeah, that is.
So right here,
kinda what we're
M46, and pretty close to where it comes to near M52, right
Yep.
there into northwestern Saginaw County.
That would be like the Hemlock area.
Yep.
St. Charles down 52, I think. That whole area, you can see where the reds are meeting the greens.
Yep.
Right
So right
there.
here.
Those might be two separate rotations. Again, we've seen this all night, but those two spots could be some spin-ups. So again, Saginaw County heading east-northeast at about 55 miles per hour. Saginaw.
Yep.
If you have family in Saginaw, get them on the horn. Be like, you need to get to your safe place. Midland right now, it looks like maybe still southern Midland County might have some light rotation, but it looks like this has lost some organization. Let me take a look at, ooh, yeah, it looks like, where is that at? Yeah, I'm in radar scope, which is a little bit more organized that I can use on my laptop. Definitely looks like a tornado in Saginaw County. Like you said, M52, it is right now
Yeah,
just west right here, just north of Brant.
Yeah.
It looks like that, and then also just southeast of Merrill, just south of Hemlock. That is where we're seeing that. That definitely looks like a tornado to me on radar scope. And then in Midland County, ooh, where's that at? Then Bay County? Yes, I would say, yeah. You
Yeah,
see
let me
it
go
right
ahead
there?
and just turn off the watches and warnings. I think you can see the velocity here a little bit better.
That's Saginaw County. If you go north to Midland,
Okay.
I think it's towards Auburn,
Yeah, I would say probably.
maybe even closer to Bay County. Because
Right
I
here.
am getting, yeah, this is where on radar scope it is very bright. The last, the new update is a little bit
So
better.
I would say I think this is very close, if not right on top of Freeland.
Yes, I would say it's Freeland, Auburn area right there along M47. That is where we were looking at in Midland County that they could be looking at a potential tornado as well.
Yeah, there's there's Freeland.
Yeah. I would say that's moving across the Saginaw River or the Tittabawassee River and it's heading northeast. It's a Tittabawassee there, right? Or Saginaw, one of the two rivers.
I believe Tittabawassee.
Yeah, I think it drains into Saginaw. But yeah, those two spots, and they're not, again, these are only 10 miles apart, not even,
Right.
from Midland County down to Saginaw County. But again,
I would
this
say
area south of Hemlock, this is
one
definitely,
has my attention a little bit more.
yes, that one to me is
Let me
saying,
go ahead and put a track on that for you.
like even on radar scope, it has a tornado icon on it.
Oh man. Unfortunately, this is looking to move if it holds together right towards downtown Saginaw.
And that's what we're watching closely. Like we mentioned before, if you have family in this area, this is why we're on socials and not on TV, because this isn't technically part of our viewing area, but I do know people do watch us down towards M46 and as well as on Midland. But there is a distinct couplet and rotation right now and possibly a tornado on the ground in central Saginaw County moving northeast to Saginaw. And John just put a swath letting you know at what times. It'll be around Swan Creek at 12:19, Saginaw around 12:34, Zilwaukee around 12:39. And it's continuing to, that whole swath from there, from Brant all the way up to Swan Creek and Midland, there's a lot of back and forth rotation right now.
Yeah. So even if you're not experiencing a active tornado, or even if we do not have a confirmed active tornado, Lohan, let me check the chat, but
you can do that
you're
as
still
well.
going to be talking about very strong winds with this storm moving through.
I'm not seeing anything that's a correlation coefficient, so that's good. So the correlation coefficient, for those who just heard me say that will tell us a debris ball. If there's things in the radar or things in the atmosphere that shouldn't be, the radar lets us know, and that would be indicative of a debris ball, and I'm not seeing that at the moment.
Looks like we're getting a report into Genesee County, into Flint near I-475 and Hemp Hill Road, nickel-sized hail.
Okay. I'm still watching Saginaw closely because there's too many bright colors mixing together, and they should not be. Midland looks like it's trying to organize, but not successfully doing it. For all those asking, Gaylord, Grayling,
Yeah, let's just go ahead and
those
briefly go
areas
back.
are just seeing strong storms at the moment. These storms are moving extremely slow. They really don't have a ton of speed, but look at the last few frames here. These storms are losing it going up towards Charlevoix, Antrim, Kalkaska, Otsego, Crawford. Now that doesn't mean you're in the clear, all right? I'm just gonna throw that out there now, because what we've seen throughout the day and this evening and into the night is these storms recycle. They go through a phase where they're like, but then all of a sudden they run into some juicy air and they go like, I'm back. We have seen that several times throughout the last 6 hours from Wisconsin to Michigan. They recycled about 3 different times.
Mm-hmm.
That is what you're seeing down towards Saginaw and Midland. This is a recycle from after they had tornado warnings in Montcalm County. So you're seeing this continue. So the northern counties, you're not out of it yet. That's why you still have a tornado watch, but there are no warnings right now for the tip of the Mitt counties. Gaylord, Grayling, Charlevoix, these areas, you still need to be weather aware, but there are currently no warnings for you to the north.
Yeah, this is still the big reason why. We'll go over it one more time, but yeah, this is still the reason that Gaylord is still holding on to these tornado watches, because even though we don't have any active warnings pretty much north of M72 at this point, you're still talking about those storms, and like Mike was mentioning, they do have the chance at least pretty much reevaluate themselves and get their act back together.
Yeah, and that's what we're watching closely for those northern counties. So right now they are moving northeast, and they are working their way towards Gaylord, Charlevoix, areas up towards spots like Petoskey. Right now, not severe. You still have a tornado watch, which means ingredients are right to possibly recycle these storms.
And I'll go ahead and reiterate our taco watch and our taco warning that seemed to go over very well on our Beyond the Forecast show and got a lot of people's attention. And I think it sticks.
It does.
I think it really does. And if you're not a taco person, well, you can think about it anyway. A burger watch, a pizza watch. I mean,
any way you make food.
Your favorite
think about a recipe.
The ingredients versus the product.
Correct.
That's what you're talking about.
Tornado watch means the ingredients are there for the product. A warning means the product is there. So that's what you need to remember with these. Now, getting back to Midland County, I know some people have been asking for an update. Gladwin County. Gladwin County, you have these storms rolling through. You have a severe thunderstorm warning at the moment. So you could be looking at winds in excess of 60 miles an hour, some small hail, and very heavy rain. But that is what's currently moving through Gladwin County. Areas down into Midland County. This system still looks like it's trying to form a tornado in southeastern Midland County. And you still have a tornado warning into Bay County. And then Saginaw County. I am seeing a distinct 2 tornadoes in Saginaw County right now.
Okay, yeah, here's the one in Midland County, actually now going into Bay County.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the one that I am seeing in Midland County. It's not truly organizing itself, but that is what I'm seeing. Now, someone was asking about Clio.
Sure.
As well as areas to the south here. Yeah, we can head down to Saginaw County because I see 2 distinct tornadoes right now in Saginaw County.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that.
East of M52.
Got it.
Yes, that one right there.
Yep.
On radar scope, it is very bright. And then to the southeast, Montrose. They were asking about Montrose and Clio. This is where I see the other one.
Are you talking right here?
It is it on top of it right now? No, it's in the warning. It's down here south of the one you circled, I think.
Okay, let me zoom out.
See, this is the issue we have without a Detroit radar. So it's back, so that one up there, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Chesaning, west of Tamath, back to the west. And then I think maybe the one above it. These two right here are very bright and very distinctive on radar
Let me
scope.
go ahead and take a look at what you're looking at.
The last cycle came in, so that one. Oh, I could actually turn the radar off so I can get, yeah, just west of Montrose.
Yeah.
So this one right here, and then there's one down here that's not really showing up, but I see it on radar scope. But it is a distinct rotation to me, and it is the greens meeting the reds. You definitely can see the rotation there meeting just west of Montrose. So whoever asked about Clio and Montrose, there is a tornado, a possible tornado, heading down. What road is that Montrose is on? Zoom in a little bit more.
Montrose. We are talking about.
I'm not sure what highway that is. I know I see the exit every time going down there.
I know. I shouldn't. It's been a long day.
It has been a very long day. I'm not sure which one that is, but
Let's see. It's not getting picked up here.
of course it wouldn't. But that highway in between Montrose and Clio, that there is a. I am seeing a distinct couplet.
For some reason, I want to say 50. No. Okay, I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say.
Yeah, I am seeing a distinct couplet there, and then a distinct couplet in between St. Charles and Bridgeport. So Saginaw County, you are still under a tornado warning, and I am seeing two distinct rotations. That is what we're watching closely there for Saginaw. Midland, it looks like Freeland right now is seeing the rotation south of Auburn. So again, this line of storms, as we've been mentioning, has been is known for this. Embedded tornadoes and extremely gusty winds and sizable hail. Again, John is heading over to the National Weather Service chat to see if anything is being mentioned. But if you're just joining us, we've been watching this since about 8:30.
That road near Montrose and Clio 57.
Oh, M57. Yes, that makes sense. I knew which one it was.
I knew that too.
But it's east of Chesaning, heading towards Montrose, and it's just north of 57. So Tamath, Birch Run, actually, yeah, it's heading towards Birch Run. Frankenmuth, Bridgeport, Saginaw, all of those areas need to be, if you know people in that area, if you're in that area, you need to be in your safe spots because there is a distinct line that is a history of embedded tornadoes.
I'm not seeing any indications of touchdown or any spotter rotation or confirmation, so this still does look to be radar indicated,
Okay.
at least from what I can see. But
Someone was, whoa, what's going on down here? North of Ann Arbor, Howell. Yeah, were you hearing the sirens going off in Howell? Whoever mentioned that? Yeah, you're definitely looking at some tornadic activity down towards Howell, Heartland, Hamburg. You need to be in your safe spots right now.
Yep.
That is definitely.
Yep. Howell,
Follow
right
the-
around 96.
Yeah. Those areas near.
And if you
96
do
and
remember,
59.
we did have a tornado that moved right along 96. I believe that was right near Williamston.
Was that 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you drive
can
along
still see it.
96, you can still see a lot of those trees.
Yep.
Not looking too good.
So that area is definitely in a bad zone right now. Flint, I know somebody was asking about Genesee County.
Okay.
Mount Morris, Beecher, Flint, these areas, Grand Blanc.
Currently severe thunderstorm warning until 1 o'clock in the morning.
There's no tornado warning here, but again, this line that we are seeing distinct, it's just that tornado that I saw in Saginaw County is now just north of Montrose towards Burt. So again, Flint, somehow you're missing this. but there's still that line to come through. And again, I wish I could show you this in distinct version with the Detroit radar, but there is a very, very distinct line of winds going that way and winds going that way. And the problem is once you start getting the rotation on that line, you start picking up a spin up and you could possibly have a tornado. That line right now runs from Freeland all the way down to Fenton. That distinct line where those winds are doing this. So all it takes is a wobble and they start rotating. That is what this line of storms has been doing since central Minnesota in the afternoon. And it recycles. And right now it's recycling down towards Howell. It's recycling up towards Schwartz Creek right now. There's a little bit of rotation I'm picking up there, so I wouldn't be surprised if Flint gets added to some of this. Flushing, Montrose, Burt, Bridgeport, Saginaw. Saginaw right now is just on the edge of refreshing.
Let's just go ahead and get a new swath, including northern Michigan, of the showers and storms.
Yeah, let's show them what we got so far. So here's the line of storms. And the blue here, east of I-75, this is ground clutter. Once you get into the overnight hours, you start picking up a lot more ground clutter. The line is right here, stretching from western Mackinac County all the way down to Saginaw and Flint. Now, it is Saginaw-Flint area is running into juicier air right now, so it's refreshing and revamping. You still have a tornado watch here for areas up in the tip of the mitt. Doesn't mean you're going to get tornadoes. It doesn't mean you're going to get severe weather. What they're seeing are conditions are still there, still possible to give you severe weather or a tornado. So again, we are watching this very closely as it runs into some fresh air up in the UP and tip of the mitt. It could start spawning some isolated severe storms, and that potential could even squirt out a tornado. So we're going to watch that very closely here through the night, but there are no warnings right now up in the eastern UP or tip of the mitt. The warnings that we have right now are leaving Roscommon County. So that storm is heading towards Ogemaw County. We'll see if they issue a warning here shortly. Gladwin County, you are seeing a few storms currently. You have a severe thunderstorm warning until later. Areas in Bay County, as well as areas down into Saginaw County, you have severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warnings. That is where we see that distinct wind line stretching from Freeland all the way down to Howell and Fenton. But also here, there's a tornado watch now for areas up towards Alcona, as well as Iosco and Aranac counties. So that watch goes until early, well, it is tomorrow. It goes until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. this morning. I totally forgot what day and time it was.
Where are we?
Yeah, it's been a long day.
It has.
I'm almost pulling 24 hours.
We appreciate you. Here's a report coming in from someone from Skywarn, and this is kind of looking more so at northern Michigan. We've been getting reports of wind gusts near 35 to 40 miles per hour, very heavy downpours, but nothing at the moment meeting severe criteria. But they're going to be staying on it at least until that line meets us right near I-75.
To kind of give you an idea, John has drawn a line where the storm starts for you and then heads east at about 55 miles per hour. So Au Gres around 12:30, Akron around 12:31, Gaylord around 12:30, Vanderbilt around 12:31, Carp Lake, Wolverine 12:32-ish. Lapeer, you're seeing it right now. Lansing, you're starting to get on some of these storms. Mayo around 12:27. Lovell's around 12:28. So if you are woken up and you happen to look at your phone and we just happen to be there for you, this is what we're covering. There's no severe warnings up in the northern lower right now, or I should say M72 North. There are a few warnings down towards Roscommon, Gladwin, potentially in Ogemaw.
Let's go ahead and revisit the tornado warning in
We do have
Saginaw.
tornado warnings towards Bay and Saginaw counties that we've been watching closely.
And there does look to be a pretty good couplet still approaching downtown Saginaw.
There's many couplets here that I'm...
At least from what I can see, you probably got a better...
There's a really good one in Clio. But for areas right here, I mean, it looks like maybe heading towards Auburn and Bay City. That is something to watch right now.
Okay.
And then down in Saginaw, it just passed north towards Milwaukee.
Okay.
So that couplet there, maybe some brief spin-ups, but it's down here towards Clio. Again, Montrose, Clio, that whole M57. There could be something there. And then look, that distinct line goes all the way down to Holly. So this whole line, like right there, that to me looks like a little tornado west of Flint. But there's nothing here that's issued for Flint.
It's a
Again, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. So even if you have a severe thunderstorm warning, doesn't mean you're not going to have a tornado.
That's one of the criteria to meet a severe thunderstorm.
Severe thunderstorm
being
warning is a
capable of
tornado.
producing a tornado. Yes.
And that's what we're seeing through Genesee County right now. It's right along I-75, actually. Just south of Birch Run, that line of wind just crossed, but there is a distinct couplet. Yes, it's 3 cells shaded red and green that are interacting. So right now, Saginaw County and also Bay County, yes, still have a tornado warned. Even Eastern Midland County still have tornado warned because there's distinct rotation right along I-75 right now, in fact. So north of Zilwaukee, it looks like that couplet is running to the east into Bay County. Bay City, if you have people in Bay City, call them and wake them up because that weather is getting a little bit shaky in Bay County right now. But again, like we've been mentioning, we're watching that very closely as it heads east. Midland saw some showers and storms, brief tornado warning. Don't think it went through Midland, Brittany, but I think it went through southern, like south of M20.
Emergency manager from Ingham County, here's an interesting report. They said near Barnes, a tractor trailer was flipped.
Where was that?
Near Barnes on 127 in Ingham County.
Okay, so that's Lansing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tractor trailer was flipped. That makes sense. These winds that I'm seeing on radar scope right now.
Also areas in Grand Rapids reporting over 250,000 power outages.
Wow, 250,000 power outages. That's a lot. Gaylord right now, Gaylord will be seeing the storms probably here within the next few minutes, but nothing warned or significant. You still have a tornado watch for Otsego County. Doesn't mean you're in the clear when I say there's nothing warned. It's just the storms right now are strong. They're not severe. So we're watching that closely.
We're picking now back up on pretty much just now, I would say right on top of or just east of downtown Saginaw. We do have
There's that
indications
rotation.
now of some rotation even on our scans. So I'm not sure how it's looking over for your way, but it's probably not a good situation.
Yeah, it is North Saginaw, Zilwaukee. So it's basically like over the Zilwaukee Bridge right now,
Okay.
which
So yeah, this is right where I-75 and I-675 come together right before you go over the Zilwaukee Bridge. I think last check.
it's this whole line, man. I've been talking to John about this at length while he was doing his job in the 11. This whole line is doing things that I've never seen before through Michigan. There's so many spin-ups. And like that's like they issue a warning, but there's several spin-ups along that distinct line.
It's very hard to keep track of all of the different ways the winds are going. The technology that we do have today is incredible compared to what we had 20 or 30 years ago when we were trying to not only just the amount of technology, but the amount of information we're able to get in real time.
Kalkaska County, can we go to bed?
Yep.
Yeah, you can go to bed in Kalkaska County.
Sorry.
Yes. West Branch, the storms are on the way to West Branch.
Let's go ahead and take a look. We'll reset and go farther north. Here's
Yeah,
a look
kind of
at-
give you an idea what's happened. I know people have been asking about Everett, Clare. These storms have cleared Everett. They have cleared Cadillac. They have cleared Harrison. They have cleared Clare.
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some spots that are good to go at this point.
Frankfort, Manistee, Ludington, areas down into
Big
Newaygo,
Rapids,
Big Rapids,
Pentwater,
Mount
Hart.
Pleasant even. We have seen the storms pass through those areas. You are clear to go to bed, set your alarms, and wake up in 6 hours. For the areas that are in question right now, it is mainly east of I-75 for the lower peninsula, or I should say central lower peninsula, and then up in the northern lower, you currently do not have any severe warnings, but areas like Grayling, Gaylord, Charlevoix, Petoskey, Wolverine, Mackinac City, the eastern UP, you need to be weather aware. We have stronger storms right now. There is potential that they could turn severe, but again, the juicier, more favorable conditions right now are in the southeast portion of the lower peninsula. Otsego, are you good? You have storms rolling through. I'm not going to say you're good, but you're just seeing some strong storms at the moment. Antrim as well, Cindy. Can Mansalona go to bed? Yeah, I think you can go to bed. You're beyond the, so the boundary layer is what you're seeing right now, everyone. So when you see these line of storms, this is the boundary layer. This is what's kind of firing off those storms. So if you're southwest of this line of storms, you're more than likely good to go. Gaylord, you're still on the northeast side of this line of storms. Charlevoix, you're currently seeing the storms. If you don't have a warning right now, which none of you do in this area, you're good. But what you see here over northern Lake Michigan, what you see here in northern Emmett County, you're seeing this start to slowly refresh, recycle. That means as it gets off Lake Michigan, eastern UP, you might get some good bangers going on. But right now, these are falling apart for areas towards Kalkaska, Grayling, Gaylord, Mansalona, East Jordan, Charlevoix. Those spots right now look good to go. We are not seeing any severe warnings there right now. Doesn't mean Sheboygan, Indian River, Rogers City, Onaway, Hillman, Alpena, Mayo, that you won't see any. It's just we don't have any right now. Those spots southwest of Gaylord, you're good to go. Areas northeast, you still need to be weather aware as we head into the early morning hours. Gladwin is still in a tornado watch. Gladwin right now.
Here's a look at the UP too.
Yes.
Go ahead and get our eastern
Gladwin
Upper Peninsula folks in the know.
You have a severe thunderstorm warning still going on, but it is clearing you. At the moment, still seek your safe place with this severe thunderstorm moving through. We are seeing areas towards Secord. Is it Secord or Secord in Gladwin County? There's a little bit of rotation in the atmosphere, but again, it doesn't look like anything major. The major parts that we are seeing is down towards Saginaw and Midland counties and Bay County. Right now, heading towards Coquitlam, Essexville, I know that one. Bay City, just past Zilwaukee, just north of Robin Glen, Indiantown. That is where we still have some signatures of rotation. They have a tornado warning there in Bay County. Saginaw, it looks like it's Frankenmuth. Frankenmuth actually has a little bit of rotation. That distinct line is now in Genesee County, and I don't know how Genesee County doesn't have a tornado warning. There's like 3 distinct rotations there. Northern, is Lake Orion in Oakland?
I believe so.
Farmington Hills, Milford.
So here's a look at what we're talking about.
There's a tornado warning in northern Oakland County, I do believe that is. So areas like Lake Orion, Ortonville, Oxford, those spots have a tornado warning as well. So that is what is north of Zilwaukee. That is
anywhere between M13 and M15?
Yes. That could be a possible tornado. So that is what we were looking at earlier that went north of Saginaw. We're seeing that tight couplet, that rotation. For anybody who's wondering what this mess is behind me, this is velocity. This is what the radar is picking up. Green is going towards the radar, red is going away from the radar. So when you have green and red interacting, that is telling us rotation. So that is how you can pick up rotation in tornadoes with Doppler radar if you can't pick them out in reflectivity. And you can see this whole line. I wish I could just show you.
Yeah,
but this whole
unfortunately,
line,
as we get farther away from the radar, it's going to be a lot tougher to see this.
There is a distinct wind line that is just playing tricks with velocity right now. There's a lot of couplets that have me like, ooh, ooh. And we've been seeing that since Grand Rapids, going through southern Michigan. Walled Lake, yes, Walled Lake is, I believe, in that tornado warning. I could be wrong, though.
Let's go ahead and get...
Or wait, is Walled Lake south? No, Walled Lake is south of the tornado warning by about 15 miles.
So this is going to be for northern Oakland County.
Waterford, Lake Orion over there. But yeah, this is east of
Yep,
Holly along
Ortonville,
I-75, heading
Oxford.
towards M15. So areas south of that, like Milford, West Bloomfield Township, Farmington Hills, Novi. This is the northern half of Oakland County. It's actually right at the radar site,
Pretty close, yeah. Detroit
which
Pontiac.
is very tough to pick up spins right now. But that distinctive line of wind that I've been talking about here for the last several minutes, that actually runs right through northern Oakland County. And then I don't know why oh, there it is. I was going to say, why does Genesee not have a tornado warning? This warning that they just issued for Genesee, east of Flint, there's 3 distinct couplets. I was like, I don't know why they're not. Davison, Goodrich, like, look at these things. I was like, why are they not issuing anything? And they finally did. And this is going into, oh man, what's east of Genesee?
Lapeer.
Lapeer. Yep, well, there's Lapeer. So this is coming down the road. I mean, this looks like it's right on top of Davison right now.
Yeah.
And it's going right down the road towards Elba and Lapeer. So again, East Genesee County, right here. It's right here is where we're seeing. There's 3 distinct.
So if
cells.
you live right near or north of I-69, if you're going
I-69,
into
yeah.
eastern Genesee County or even majority of Lapeer County, get into your shelter.
Safe place.
Safe place right now.
Yes. So for those tuning in, wondering if you can go to bed and get some rest before work tomorrow, let's kind of run through what we got going on in Northern
Let's
Michigan
reset.
right now. The distinct wind line right now is in northern Antrim County, southern Otsego County, and rushing over to Montmorency County.
Here's something interesting, Mike. We're now starting to see it looks like a few more discrete cells
That refresh.
ahead of the main boundary.
Yep.
So areas from Sheboygan County, Montmorency County, even going towards Oscoda County.
This is why they issued that tornado watch for
Alcona County.
Iosco, Aranac, Alcona. You're getting that boundary layer interacting. You know what this is? It's interacting with the lake breeze. So the lake breeze off of Lake Huron.
Yeah.
So northeast winds in front of this boundary layer so the shear is one thing that set me and John into high alert the last few days, because the shear was directly 45 degrees, 40 knots. That is the main thing when it comes to tornadoes. Now, once you get to the Lake Huron side, you have to start adding another variable, and that other variable is a lake breeze. That provides more lift for this boundary layer that is moving towards Rogers City, Alpena, Oscoda, Tawas. So those areas are getting that extra lift right now, and it is moving north through Aranac.
Quinn, can we take this with me full, please?
Is he here?
I'm not sure. Quinn? Hello?
He's probably not here.
Oh, he's probably not. Okay.
But you can check
either
it
way. We're talking about, Sheboygan County, Montgomery. So anywhere you see, this is what we're talking, you see these little discrete cells right in front of the main line.
Yep.
Now starting to move from Grayling to Gaylord. So you're talking about Aranac County, even going towards Alcona County.
Yep.
So East Tawas. You're talking about Harrisville,
Oscoda,
Glenny, Oscoda.
Yeah. All those areas.
So you're starting to see a lot of new development right here. We didn't have that about 15 minutes ago.
No, and the main player in that is lake breeze.
Right.
So you're seeing this lake breeze, which is cooler air, rush into that boundary layer, which is giving it more lift. So you're seeing these storms pop up out of nowhere.
So remember, our lake temperatures are cooler versus at least what we're seeing at the moment, or what we did from earlier over land this evening. So think about it. Colder air, it's more dense. So as it's running into this boundary, that colder air is going to move under the boundary, and that's going to start to force your air up, and that's exactly what we're starting to see right here.
Yes, that is exactly the perfect explanation. That lake breeze off Lake Huron is what is pushing all these storms, forcing them to lift, and that's why we're seeing these storms pop up out of nowhere for Oscoda, as well as or I should say Aranac, Iosco, and also Alcona counties. Now, getting back to what we were doing before that, those areas towards Grayling, those areas towards Let me change the reflectivity.
I did just want to mention for folks that maybe have family down in Metro Detroit, they did just issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Wayne County.
Wayne County?
Which I do have several family members that live in Wayne County.
In Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So those spots near Grayling, yes, you guys can head to bed. Gaylord, it looks clear to me right now. It's mainly what's in front of this line that we have to continue to watch. So those areas up towards Sheboygan, Presqu'île, Montmorency, Alpena, Oscoda, as well as areas towards Alcona, Aranac, Iosco. That's what we have to continue to watch. Areas up into the tip of Emmett, Mackinac, as well as Luce and Chippewa counties, we will continue to watch that as well. No, they're not severe right now. But what we're seeing, like what John just pointed out, this is refreshing and recycling one more time. This has happened since this afternoon in Minnesota. This line just continues to move east and constantly refreshes and recycles. As it left Wisconsin, it crossed Lake Michigan, and it recycled as it got to the Lake Michigan shoreline. That's where we had some tornado warnings towards Muskegon and southwestern Newaygo counties. And then it just continued to refresh and recycle once it got to Grand Rapids, and then just continued to scream to the east. Now we are starting to see this refresh and recycle for the eastern half of the Lower Peninsula. So areas towards the Lake Huron shoreline, it's getting one last refresh, recycle, before it starts heading off to the northeast. So the eastern UP right now, Mackinac County, you're more than likely seeing some very strong storms off of northern Lake Michigan. They are not severe, but it doesn't mean you won't see some very gusty winds, and it doesn't mean you're going to not be woken up by some loud thunder. That is going to be the case. Once you get downstate, that is where we're continuing to see the tornado activity. That is more down towards Flint, Saginaw, Bay City, areas down towards Auburn Hills, Detroit. That is where they're still seeing tornadic activity.
Yeah, take a look right here. I just want to go ahead and go right near the tip of the mitt. Look how much this has intensified just over the past 10, 15 minutes.
The lake actually intensified it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Because think about it. I mean, again, your lake temperatures, at least this time of year, 50s at best. And then we were talking temperatures from, I know we've lost a lot of the daytime heating, but at least from earlier today, we were talking 70s and 80s.
Yep.
So, I mean, overnight lows tonight only are dropping for a lot of us in the 50s.
Where we already saw the storms pass through, it's only 66 degrees.
There you go.
So these storms are still running into, what, 60, 70 degree temperatures up in the eastern UP. So
Yeah.
they're continuing to feed. Not nearly as much as what it would be during peak daytime heating. But yeah, those counties up there, up here into Mackinac County, as well as the tip of Emmett County. Look at that.
Yeah,
they're still recycling. They're recycling and refreshing.
Carp Lake, you're about to get a nasty storm anywhere right near the straits. I'd be curious if we can take a look at the sky cam near the bridge.
Tornado watch for Clare has been canceled. So this is all new. Gratiot in Clare County for our areas. Clare, Isabella, Gratiot counties have been canceled.
I'm going to go ahead and see if we can get the live cam. Oh, never
What's
mind.
the tornado watch? So tornado watch the farther south
Let me go back.
has been canceled. Oh yeah, we can't have sky cams.
That's right. My bad.
No, you're good.
So yeah, this is still,
Again, it's that leading edge of the boundary layer.
and
It's right here. You can see it distinctly.
yes, and unfortunately, again, this is.
So what this tells you, folks, not to cut you off, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
But these areas from Nobbin Way all the way down to Hillman, areas southwest of that, you are free to go to bed. These areas right here, Gaylord, Mayo, Grayling, Mansalona, East Jordan, Charlevoix, you are out of it. Why? Because this leading edge right here is feeding off of everything that would supply these storms. You are going to see the tornado watches canceled here, but that means Mackinac, Emmett, Sheboygan, as well as Montmorency, Alcona, and down towards Aranac and Iosco counties, you need to continue to be weather aware. But everything southwest of that line, you're good to go.
Yep. Because it's going to be these little.
There it is. Like
little-
I just mentioned for you, tornado watch canceled for all those counties southwest
Wow,
of
you're
that
really
boundary layer.
good.
It's almost kind of like I know what I'm talking about.
Good job.
Gladwin. Yep, there it is. Emmett, Sheboygan, Charlevoix,
So let's go ahead and pull that
Otsego,
up.
Antrim, Kalkaska, Crawford, Missaukee, Roscommon, Ogemaw, and Gladwin counties, the tornado watch has been canceled for you. I just explained it in real time for y'all. So yeah, now it is down to Aranac, Iosco, which we just showed you in real time why that's happening because of the lake breezes feeding off of that in front of the boundary layer right here. We'll continue to watch this closely because this could impact the eastern UP with some possibly short-lived severe weather. Sheboygan, Rogers City, Onaway, Posen, Hillman, Atlanta, Alpena, areas throughout Oconee County. You need to still be on your toes. You could possibly have some brief severe weather. Again, we'll watch that very closely for you. The farther south you go, yes, people are saying, Kalkaska, Bobby, you can go to bed. Downtown Vanderbilt, you'll probably have a few good rumbles of thunder down there, Tiffany, but you should be in the clear. Areas down in Genesee County, that tornado warning is now in Lapeer. Let me flip over to the Detroit radar. Yeah, there is definitely a possible tornado in Lapeer following, what is that, M69? Yeah, just south of Lapeer right now, heading towards Imlay and Attica. Clio did have spin-ups, Montrose, Clio area, but that is now off to the east. Caro, areas down towards Vassar, that is where they could possibly still have some tornadic activity. Right now, the only tornado warnings in the state are northeastern Oakland County and Lapeer County. That is where we have tornado warnings right now. We no longer have any warnings in our neck of the woods. Our viewing area, which is Midland to Newberry, we do not have any warnings or watches for that fact. But we will continue to sit here and watch what this boundary layer is doing because it is now refreshing and recycling. So there are some stronger storms right now over the straits and heading into Mackinac County. So these spots right here in northeast, you could possibly pop a isolated severe storm. We'll watch that very closely. Bay City, that we were watching that very closely. Bay City is now in the clear. They were questionable earlier, but they are now in the clear. Pellston also, right here, you are in the clear. It's this boundary layer right here. Anything southwest of that boundary layer, everybody. So Indian River, these areas right here, you're clear. You're good to go. This is now the leading edge of the activity, all the way back down towards Harrisville, Oscoda. This layer, if you're northeast of that layer, you need to be weather aware. If you're southwest of this line of storms, right here, from Mackinac City all the way down, you're good to go. Barreton's
so
good,
I'll
Brittany.
go ahead and draw it on here real quick, but this is right where
Yes.
we're talking about that.
If you're southwest of that, you're good. You can head to bed. If you're northeast of that, you need to be on your toes still because you possibly could squeak out an isolated storm. This is actually playing out exactly how the SPC said it would play out.
Yes.
If you recall to us in the last day or two showing you the enhanced, slight, and then marginal risk for severe weather today, this is exactly how it panned out.
Yeah, they nailed this one.
They nailed it. So kudos to the SPC.
Yep.
Which, for anyone who doesn't know what the SPC is, it's in Norman, Oklahoma, and they forecast severe weather from Norman, Oklahoma.
Storm Prediction Center.
Yep. So right now what we're watching is the eastern UP. We currently don't have any warnings or watches in our area. Yeah, I don't think we even have tornado watches anymore. I think that's mainly the thumb. But we are going to continue to watch these pretty closely.
I would say the only tornado.
Aranac, Iosco, yeah.
Yep, Aranac, Iosco.
Midland and Bay, I would say you're safe now.
Technically, still for Midland. Wow, they have that till 5 o'clock in the morning.
See, you can see where the boundary layer is right here, and the lake breeze is interacting here. So we'll continue with this, but also up in the northwest.
Here's some of the active warnings.
Skidway is good, Jenna.
That we're still talking about. Tuscola County, 1:30 in the morning, severe thunderstorm warning. Lapeer County, and that's also including the tornado warning that we were talking about. Lapeer County, Oakland County.
Yep.
You've got 2 in Oakland County, actually.
I'm going to go down there, check it out.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, there's a distinct tornado there. It's just east of Orchard Lake, heading towards Bloomfield Hills. Just south of Pontiac.
Yeah, taking a look. We're looking
Heading
at our
right at Troy.
our Gaylord cameras up here in the
Told you, all
studio.
it takes is a little bit of a wobble.
Looks like it's raining sideways.
I saw a lot of people.
Ooh, that was a good lightning strike.
Lewiston, Mayo. Lewiston, Mayo, be on your toes here for a little bit more. The boundary layer is like right next to you. I think you're good to go. I think many of the areas in the northern half of the UP, or northern half of our viewing area, are good to go. But we're going to continue to watch it. There's nothing severe right now in those areas. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean everything will be non-severe, but what we've been watching very closely is here's the boundary layer. This is continuing to move northeast. These cells right here in Sheboygan County, all the way up into Midland County, Carp Lake, or excuse me, Mackinac County. I said Midland County? Mackinac County. I'm getting tired. Trout Lake, these areas all need to be watched closely. They're not severe right now, but you could potentially have some damaging winds of wind gusts, as well as areas down towards Onaway, Rogers City, Posen. Those areas need to be watched because you are now seeing the boundary layer impacting with lake breeze. That could force up some bigger storms rather than just trying to feed off of what's naturally there. It's getting a little additional help. Anybody southwest of this, go to bed.
And like we were talking about, at least with the damaging wind or straight line wind threat, that can be as dangerous
Yes.
as a tornado.
100%.
So you can still get down trees, down power lines, damage to any property that you might have in or outside your house. So that's still, a big reason why we're continuing to at least watch areas in the northeast lower, right near the straits. Pretty nasty cell for anyone you might know that's about to travel over the Mackinac Bridge. They're about to have an experience.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they
Might
have a
briefly shut it down, actually. Let me go ahead and take a look at the Mackinac Bridge Authority website.
Maria, you're in Boyne Falls, you're good to go. It's just some rumbles of thunder and some rain moving through. You're in the clear.
It looks like bridge is still
Mayo, not
currently
Mayo.
open, but we'll keep
said
tabs
Mayo?
on that.
I didn't say Mayo, did I? It's Mayo.
Definitely,
Somebody say Mayo? I didn't say
definitely Mayo. You almost had me saying it.
We could call it Mio. That's what I always call it when I go to my deer camps in Glenny.
See, anytime we pass through Mayo, I always remember the little pink elephant.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
That's like a signature when we're on our way up 33.
Elmira's good. Elmira, you can go to bed. Is Charlevoix good? Charlevoix's good. Charlevoix can go to bed. So when you back out, zoom out. So when John zooms out, see these storms up in Luce County all the way down through Sheboygan County all the way to Oscoda. That line right there is the boundary layer. There could be a severe storm or two that pops up here, but I'm guessing it won't happen. But anyone southwest of that, you are good in the clear, good to go. Go to bed, set the alarm for 5 hours from now. You're good to go.
Yeah, now you may still get some heavy rain. You might hear
Still
a few
some
rumbles.
big rumbles of thunder, but it's
at least the
nothing-
severe
The
threat.
severe threat is over there.
Yeah.
Until tomorrow night. We might be doing this again tomorrow night. What the system that is set up, there's a low-level jet streak right now that is just off to our west over Wisconsin, and that low-pressure system was pinwheeling out that energy starting in Minnesota, and it kicked out all day, crossing Wisconsin and into Michigan. And if you've been watching us here through this evening, we've been telling you how this recycles and refreshes, and it's been doing it all day. It recycled and refreshed over Lake Michigan, hit the Lake Michigan shoreline around 9 o'clock tonight, and that's where it refreshed, and we had some very big storms come off the lake. It fell apart a little bit, recycled, and then we saw some big storms once it got inland, especially for the central lower. And now is doing one last refresh recycle right here for the northeast corner of the lower peninsula. And that is where we might pop some stronger storms, maybe an isolated severe storm. I definitely do not like any tornadic activity here. There's no signs of any tornadic activity here, but we could have some stronger storms with some damaging winds and possibly some small hail. So again, we'll watch that very closely. There's going to be marine events popping up left and right. We now have a marine event for the Straits, like John was mentioning, that is a stronger storm. So anybody crossing the Mackinac Bridge is going to have an experience right now.
That's a good way to put it.
Heard Detroit was destroyed. It's not even to Detroit yet. So no. Livonia, though, does have a signature that is a little bit interesting. No, Detroit's fine. Northern Oakland County still seeing a little bit of rotation. Central portions towards Rochester Hills, Troy, they are seeing a little bit of rotation. The Lapeer storm is still a lot of signatures. Attica, looks like there's a tornado there right along M69. This signature has been on the ground since Lapeer. Areas towards Dryden, Imlay City, North Branch. Yeah, they still held on to the warning, but that is in Lapeer County. Northeastern Oakland County towards Lake Orion, Leonard, down to Clarkston. Clarkston's on the west side of it, but that area, and then down towards Bloomfield Hills. Bloomfield Hills right now is actually, looks like a small bit of rotation. And then once you get down into Wayne County, there is a very distinct I would say that's more straight line winds, but they definitely have a severe thunderstorm warning in Wayne County.
So I want to go ahead and just take a look at some of these winds. Sheboygan County.
Hey, did you find the radar scope?
I did.
Look at that. Looks so pretty.
It does.
Something we created.
We're talking at least 40 to 50. So, I mean, so remember.
At the surface, that is going to translate to 30, 40 mile an hour winds for you.
Right. So.
But that's right at the boundary layer. That's why we're continuing to watch this, because that is, 5 miles per hour away from severe criteria.
Correct.
So that is why
So you're talking probably about very gusty, if not even borderline damaging winds. Yep. Moving just east of I-75 throughout at least Sheboygan County right now.
Petoskey is safe. Yes, you're good to go. Is Onaway good? We're still watching Onaway closely. We just showed you there these winds. They're just southwest of Onaway, and it's moving northeast. So Onaway, we're watching closely.
I would say Onaway, yeah, it's probably going to get pretty windy here very
Mansell
soon.
and Gaylord are okay, Lane.
Even if you're into, I'd say, western Presque Isle County.
Yeah.
Anywhere or west of Rogers City.
Yep, I would say, east of I-75 right now, still be on your toes, be weather aware. Akiak, Onaway, Sheboygan, Aloha?
Aloha.
Apparently they have an Aloha.
Welcome to Hawaii.
That is the best name for a city I've seen in Michigan. These areas need to be weather aware. We could possibly pop a stronger storm, maybe an isolated severe storm. Again, this is exactly where the boundary layer is right now, and that's what's continuing one last refresh, recycle of these storms with the help of the lake breeze off of Lake Huron. We saw that firing up in real time in Oscoda, and John's like, look at these. I was like, you know what's doing that? Lake breeze. You tend to see this once these lines of storms gets over to the east. It interacts more. That cooler air lifts that warmer air up quicker. So even at night, there's a little bit of hail there towards Aloha.
Yeah, we're getting a little hail.
Hail Aloha. Possible.
Possible.
Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't tell the size with Barron.
Okay, well.
But. So there's that boundary layer right here. Newberry all the way down towards Alpena. If you're southwest of that, go to bed. You're good to go. These areas, northeast, we're watching it closely. There's no warnings right now in our area. What we've been watching closely has been the tornadic activity in the thumb. That has continued to kind of slow down a little bit. They still have crazy rotation signatures in Lapeer.
Yeah, so here's the entire thumb as of right now. Tuscola, Huron, Sanilac counties. You've got warnings, Tuscola 1:30, Huron 2:15 in the morning, Sanilac 2:15 in the morning. Western Lapeer, at this point, you are out of the tornado warning, so areas into Lapeer itself, I'd say you're at least good from the tornadic situation.
Eastern Lapeer is still...
but yeah, Eastern Lapeer...
There's a lot of rotation right there, and it's still on M69.
Let's just see what we can see here.
There's that distinct line.
Yeah, I would say right here.
Oh, Gaylord. Flashy, flashy. Our camera just showed us the lightning in Gaylord. Yeah, that's going to continue to head towards Sarniac.
So I wouldn't be surprised if St. Clair If you're in northern St. Clair,
Yeah.
it's possible they might extend that tornado warning into.
Sterling Heights, west of that, Troy right now, there could be possible tornado signature there.
So here's our other.
And then it just kind of fades away once it gets down towards Inkster. Hillman. Hillman should be good to go. I think you're beyond the boundary layer. Let me check real quick. I know you were one I was watching.
So just kind of recapping areas farther downstate. Washtenaw County, 1:30 in the morning, severe thunderstorm warning. Wayne County, that does include Metro Detroit, 2 o'clock in the morning. Active tornado warnings right now, you're talking about north, or I should say southeastern Oakland County, 1:15 within that polygon. You're talking about a lot of northern suburbs just north of Detroit, so that includes Bloomfield Hills, Troy, just clipping Rochester Hills. This is very close to where 59 and 75 come together, just south.
For those asking, Grayling, you're good. Gaylord, good. Atlanta, Hillman, you're clear of the boundary layer, so you're good to go. Very loud Mac City, yes. Yeah, Mackinac City right now.
Yeah, I figured Mackinac City right near the
is
straits.
right at the boundary layer right now, and it's on its last refresh.
And I would
of
say
storms.
anybody who is on Mackinac Island.
Yes,
That's
Mackinac Island. I totally kind of flipped on that one. Boblo and Mackinac Island. We'll add Boblo on there. If you're in the straits right now, definitely be weather aware. It's not severe, but you're going to get some gusty winds, brief gusty winds. You're going to get some heavy rain. You're going to get some loud thunder boomers. That is the boundary layer. That is exactly where the boundary layer is right now. If you're southwest of that boundary layer, you're good to go to bed. But these areas right now on the Lake Huron shoreline, from Mackinac City all the way down to Alpena, these areas are the last little bits of area in the lower peninsula that we need to continue to watch closely.
And interesting, Mackinac Bridge Authority, they still got the bridge open right now, so
No delays or anything?
I don't see anything.
That's good. That tells me the winds aren't nearly as bad then.
Sure.
What between Onaway and Sheboygan? Need to be weather aware for a little bit. Give it 15 minutes.
I was to say we're getting close.
We are almost out of the woods.
At least severe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lapeer County is
I would say
still dealing with eastern Lapeer. Still has a tornado warning. Let me click back on Detroit.
I'd say if you're anywhere along US 23 north of Alpena, you still need to watch over these next 15 minutes.
Eastern Lapeer County still has a tornado warning. I don't see any distinct tornado signatures, but there's still a little bit of rotation in spots along M69. Bay City is clear, Liv.
Yeah, Tri-Cities, you're good.
Gratiot County is clear, Allen. They had a rough 11:30 to midnight.
I'd say Tri-Cities, you're good. Even Genesee County into Flint, you're good.
It's the thumb now. It is the thumb in the Lake Huron shoreline. That is where the boundary layer is kind of swept into.
And even still, northern suburbs of Metro Detroit, you're
Yep.
still talking about a few warnings, and you still do have the active tornado warning into Oakland County. That's 1:15.
Ann Arbor.
Ooh, yeah, a few nasty cells moving through.
It doesn't
Washtenaw.
look like anything. Let me look at it.
These could probably be some hail producers.
Those ones are going to be more straight line winds.
Okay.
There's definitely some a gusty wind front on them. These are going to be the gust bags, as they call them, the wind bags.
Gust bags.
Gust bags.
How have I never heard of that?
It's wind bags, but I call them gust bags.
Oh, okay.
Wind bags. They're just windy. Reflectivity. Velocity. Yeah, Ann Arbor, areas down towards Saline.
I mean, even clipping
That is just
northern Lenawee
wind.
and going towards Monroe County, now we're talking about my home turf.
And Dundee, Adrian, they'll see these in a little bit. They'll
Mhm.
continue to sink south, chasing that energy. Columbiaville? Where's Columbiaville? West Branch Rose City is clear, Sean.
I believe Columbiaville, if my memory
Is Mount
suits
Morenzi
me,
safe?
is in the
Yes,
thumb.
James. Mount Morenzi is safe.
I believe.
Yeah, you'll probably have thunder and lightning for a good chunk of the rest of the night for a lot of these areas. It's just the severe threat is pretty much gone. Of course, Natasha, of course. So we are probably going to be wrapping up here very shortly, guys. To kind of wrap up everything that we went through this evening, marine warning. I was like, please, not another warning. We saw this line of storms develop over in Minnesota earlier this afternoon, and then they started really eating up the juicy air in Wisconsin. They had numerous tornadoes in Wisconsin, not to mention severe thunderstorm warnings, but they had several touch down in Wisconsin, and then it continued to move east. It crossed Lake Michigan, and that was going to be the main concern for us, was how is it going to interact with the cooler Lake Michigan waters.
Oh, we just got a warning for Sheboygan County.
There it is. That's why we told you to be weather aware, that boundary layer. But this line continued to refresh and repeat, recycle, and that's what it just did. And that's why we've been kind of hanging with you guys to show you this possibility.
So yeah, we were taking a look at those winds earlier, right near Aloha.
There's a little bit of
there is a little bit of rotation.
So Sheboygan, if you're in Sheboygan, get to your safe place. Sheboygan right now is again looking at a little bit of rotation. We are not seeing any distinct tornado activity here, but this is a severe thunderstorm warning for the reasons being extremely gusty winds. Why are you seeing these winds right now? This is the boundary layer, and you're getting interaction off of Lake Huron. That is helping force those clouds up, which is giving you the faster winds at the surface. This does include Boblo Island and also Mackinac Island, as John was mentioning. So if you're on Mackinac Island, Boblo Island, or right now in northeastern Sheboygan County, you have a severe thunderstorm warning until 1:45 a.m. It is currently northeastern Sheboygan County. So from just east of Carp Lake, just east of Mackinac City, all the way down 23 to Sheboygan, following M27 just north of Aloha, and then all the way to the Presque Isle County line. This is continuing to slowly work its way north. If you could show the reflectivity,
yep.
John. There you go. So impressive rain signatures. This is going to be a wind maker for you. It is going to be intense rain, and more than likely, you're going to have quite a bit of a light show as well. So some big thunder boomers, but at the same time, possibly some damaging winds. This is what we were watching closely. This is what we were telling you about. This is the boundary layer. And like we mentioned, it possibly could squeak out some severe storms as it interacts with Lake Huron. That lake breeze helps recycle one last time. This storm system refreshed and recycled all night, and it just did that for Sheboygan County.
So I also want to mention, not only is this for Sheboygan County, but we're also talking about Mackinac Island.
Right.
Is it technically
it's Great
in
St. Ignace, but
in this warning?
Technically. But yeah, there's Boblo Island, and then there's Mackinac Island to the north there. Those are included in this warning because this is going to continue to move north. So if you are in Sheboygan,
let me go ahead and take a look at the velocity here real quick, and I can get.
Make sure you are taking, maybe find your safe room, because we are seeing winds upwards of 50 miles per hour.
I wouldn't even be shocked if we're pushing 60. Yeah.
So you could have some damaging winds there. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Sheboygan, northeastern Sheboygan County.
Oh wow, yeah. Take a look at this. Even going, I wouldn't even be surprised if they pull the trigger on western
Presque Isle.
Presque Isle, yeah. Yeah.
So when John, back out. So you can see the boundary layer with these winds. There's that boundary layer. This is what we've been talking about. These areas right here. If you're southwest of that, you're better.
Yeah. Take a look. 55, 53. Yeah, so
we still have the winds.
Even though technically we don't have a warning right now into western Presque Isle, I still
be weather aware.
If you live in those areas, yeah, you should take that. Even in northeastern
Island, it's technically called Boblo. I know, it's weird.
I'd even say even into northeastern Otsego County, you're still seeing winds closer to 60. So yeah, this is still the area we're watching a lot closer. Otsego, Sheboygan, Presque even northern Morenci, potentially even northern Alpena.
So it's right there, this area right here. So again, watching it closely. That's why we stuck with you. Good thing we didn't turn it off.
That's true. Good thing we didn't.
Yeah,
I mean, look, you're even seeing
layer.
a few of those discrete cells now moving
Yep.
throughout Presque County.
So Alpena, you're good. The boundary layer is now north of you.
Just north.
Hillman, you're good. Atlanta, you're good. Onaway, you're good. But 23, Rogers City, Posen, these areas, you might catch a stray severe thunderstorm warning like they've just caught in Sheboygan. Again, that is that boundary layer. So Mackinac County, down through the Straits, down here through Sheboygan, all the way down through northeastern Alpena County, and then over Lake Huron. That is the layer that is refreshed and recycled all night. And that is one last refresh recycle as it's moving northeast. So right now, northeastern Sheboygan County, which includes Mackinac Island and Boblo Island, goes until 1:45 because of winds possibly getting upwards of 60 miles per hour, torrential rain, and not to mention quite a bit of cloud-to-ground lightning. Oakland County, good to go to bed? I don't think so.
Oakland County? Well, I know that's where we had the active Tor warn. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Yes. Oakland County still has a tornado warning.
Yeah, you're still in that. Well, just a few more minutes. Says 1:15. We'll have to see. It's still possible they could extend it into St. Clair.
Yes, well, depending where you're at. Where are you at? Lapeer is clear, Abby. They're good.
I would say Western Lapeer.
Mayo is good in Victoria.
You're still talking about Lapeer till 1:30.
It's past the boundary layer.
Is
though.
it? Okay.
Yeah. What's this one? Thunderstorm warning for Sheboygan. Thunderstorm warning for Mackinac. Look at us. Mackinac County, you now have a severe thunderstorm warning.
All right, let's go ahead and go farther north.
So those that are waking up in Mackinac County and tuning in, you have a severe thunderstorm warning. Oh, it's Boblo in Mackinac Island. They just drew their own thing over them.
Did they really?
Yes.
Oh, they sure did.
Yes, they did. Mackinac said, not today, Sheboygan. You cannot have our islands. Because technically Mackinac Island and Boblo Island are part of Mackinac County. So that is...
Right.
That is why it just
So,
came out.
yep.
So Mackinac Island and Boblo Island. So Mackinac County, yes, you see a severe thunderstorm warning, but it is for Mackinac Island and Boblo Island. What about the UP? Lori, the eastern portions of the UP, I would say east of I-75, still needs to see this boundary layer pass
Move through. Yeah. I would say if you're in Luce County.
Mark, what about Mike? Let Mike clock out. I don't clock in and out. I'm always on the clock. Gaylord is good to go, Ann. Tornado touchdown in Davison. It looked like there was a tornado signature in Davison earlier, yes. We don't have confirmation on that, and if there is, it's in the middle of the night, so more than likely we won't get confirmation until tomorrow on a lot of these.
Yeah, we're going to have probably several severe, or I should say National Weather Service
They're going to be out in full
surveys
force tomorrow.
Yep.
Tornado watches, cancellations.
Yep,
This
they
should
just
be the
canceled
rest
a
of
bunch.
them. So Bay, Midland, Saginaw, Genesee, all the counties leading up to Ann Arbor have been canceled with the tornado watch. Newberry, you're good to go, Valerie.
Yeah, I'd say if you're in Luce County, it should be okay.
Marlette? Where's Marlette at?
Marlette is in the thumb.
In the thumb? Yeah, you need to be on your toes.
Let's see, Marlette.
Oh wait, no, you're good. The boundary layer is past you. The boundary layer is towards Elmer, Sandusky, Watertown, Peck, and Speaker. You're good to go.
And it looks like they did drop the tornado warning in Oakland County as well as Eastern Lapeer. Those have both expired.
Grand Traverse is good, Lindsay. Onaway? Onaway is one we were watching closely. I believe you just got, Onaway should be past the boundary layer now. Right here is the boundary layer. So these areas in the eastern UP need to be weather aware. Central, eastern Chippewa County, eastern Mackinac County, the immediate Lake Huron shoreline right now. This cell right here moving into Rogers City. I would not be surprised to see a pop-up warning for that. That is the boundary layer right here in Alcona, Alpena counties. So anything southwest of this, you are good to go. This layer right here and northeast, that is what we're watching closely, and that's where we've had a few pop-up severe thunderstorm warnings within the last few minutes. So Sheboygan, northeastern Sheboygan County, Boblo Island, Mackinac Island, you have a severe thunderstorm warning until 1:45 because of the lake breeze off of Lake Huron interacting with this boundary layer. That is why you're seeing these storms have one last refresh, one last recycle. Charlottesville, you're good to go, Vicki. Indian River, you're good to go, Chelsea. Otsego, you're good to go, Sherry. Thank you, Rebecca. Be on your toes. I could still be a little bit windy here for a little bit. Thank you, Dylan. Appreciate that. Troy. Troy, earlier I saw a distinct rotation signature near Troy. I think they're good to go now, but earlier they had yeah, they're good to go now. It's in Sterling Heights now, but that signature went through or near Troy. They're good to go now, though. Canton? I'm just checking everybody's places. Canton is down...
Yeah, you're by Washtenaw. I can't remember if Washington... You're just west of Detroit, right off of 23.
Oh yeah, Canton Township. Oh, you're going through it right now. It's probably pretty windy. Sterling Heights. Sterling Heights should be good to go. You just went through... Oh no, Sterling Heights is seeing it right now. You have a severe thunderstorm warning until early tomorrow morning. Or early tomorrow
This morning.
It is early tomorrow morning.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Yes, you're in the clear, Shandy. Of course, Nancy. Lenawee. Where's Lenawee County?
Lenawee County is just to the west of Monroe County, so it's the bottom row of counties before you hit Ohio.
Oh, you will probably be seeing some storms fire and go severe here in the next half hour in Lenawee. Adrian.
Also in Lenawee County.
Yeah, those areas, you're seeing the boundary layer stretch into you as we speak, so there's a good possibility those could fire. You need to be weather aware. Of course, Michelle. Of course, Christine. Is that Otsego County Gaylord clear? Yes, Nick, you're good to go.
Yep, just probably some heavy rain, maybe some rumbles, but severe threat there.
Is Troy clear? Troy is clear, Queen. Thank you, Robin. I mean, this is what we wanted to do. These situations can be scary. You know, when you see things and hear things, and, you know, we knew the situation was setting up that we could possibly have tornadic activity in northern Michigan. We don't want to scare you. We want to help you understand what's going on. That is the main concern with what we're doing. You know, we're not just going to tell you, hey, tornado is possible, and not give you anything. The big thing that I want to accomplish in the weather department, and my colleagues will agree, is we want to be able to break it down so you guys can understand this from every angle. And so when that happens, you guys just feel better about the situation. You cannot avoid certain weather situations. You cannot avoid all tornadoes. You cannot avoid severe weather. So you have to break it down and understand it a little bit better. So that is going to be always the case with us here, is we are going to, yes, keep you aware and keep you up to date with the current conditions, but we're also going to, you know, bring you the latest updates, and that's what we like to do.
I think you got another half hour on your mic, so that's it.
We replaced the batteries after the 11.
Oh, you did already?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
No,
So.
okay, you're okay.
Okay.
Yep. So Johannesburg's good, Andrew.
Larry's taking care of us.
Yes, Larry's came in. Thank you, Larry, and told us we might need more batteries, but we made sure to grab new ones. Appreciate it, Mark. Good night, Dylan. Yeah, you're good in Pellston. Johannesburg is good. Presque County and Lake Huron is really loud now. Thank you for your coverage. Yeah, Anita, that is where the boundary layer is right now, and it should be moving
So
over
I'd
the
say,
lake.
yeah, you're right along US 23, anywhere
Yeah.
from the Straits
Rogers
going
City.
just north of Alpena. So yeah, right along that into Presque County, and you're still holding on to the active severe thunderstorm warning in Sheboygan County, including the city of Sheboygan, as well as Mackinac Island.
Yeah, so right now, if you can, yeah, there you go. Areas up towards Rudyard, central Mackinac, central Chippewa, we're going to continue to watch
We'll
you
give
here.
Eastern UP some love.
Because this is refreshing and recycling right now into the Eastern UP. There is a possibility that you could get some rather gusty winds, possibly some torrential rain, maybe some sizable hail, moving east towards Sault Ste. Marie. This has been untouched all day, so this is running into fresh air, and it has one last recycle with it. These areas down here, Mackinac Island, it is loud, it is windy, it is heavy rain for you. Same with Boblo Island. Sheboygan, you are about 5 minutes from being in the clear. Areas down here towards Rogers City, following 23, like John mentioned, from Sheboygan all the way to Rogers City, that is currently the boundary layer. That boundary layer is now almost into Lake Huron. So once that boundary layer is into Lake Huron, the lower peninsula, for the most part, will be clear and free until
At least of any severe.
severe weather.
chances.
You're
You'll
still
probably-
going to see some rain. You're
Yep.
still going to hear some thunder. You might have brief wind gusts, but the severe activity right now is here in this boundary layer. That is the only opportunity that we could possibly have some severe weather conditions. That's why we're still here with you on socials. Good night, Valerie. What's Gaylord looking like for a forecast? Gaylord is clear for tonight. Michigan, the lower peninsula, could have a chance for some isolated severe storms.
And I do want to
Friday
go
night.
ahead. And I do want to go ahead and let me just
Tonight.
pull in my show.
Great
You're
skies.
getting a little
Yeah, here you go. Here's your forecast.
VIP service to your forecast tomorrow.
So 10 p.m., we see another boundary layer rolling in at about 11 o'clock tomorrow night, and we again could have the potential for some isolated severe storms Friday night into Saturday morning.
Yep. So this time frame, almost copy and paste
Yep.
from what we were talking about from earlier this evening. 9 o'clock. That's when we started the initiation. 10, 11, midnight, 1 o'clock into the beginning of the weekend, and then starting to fizzle out by the time we get closer to daybreak Saturday morning.
Yep.
So this is the current outlook from the Storm Prediction Center for, ignore the Saturday, I had it in my show for yesterday, but this is for Friday late evening.
Yep.
Now, we were talking about the level 3 from like Manistee, Ludington, Big Rapids. The rest of northern Michigan was basically in that level 2. So now we're talking about the level 1. So it is a lower risk, but it's still a risk. And you're talking about more isolated chances, not as widespread. So not everybody is expecting to see a strong storm, let alone a severe storm. But like we were showing you on our future view here, the chance is still going to be there for a few at least stronger storms. So when we say strong storms, you could still get wind gusts near 30, 40, even 50 miles per hour.
Right.
You could still get, penny-sized hail.
Yep.
Remember, it's below 1 inch. That's the magic number for it to be severe. So you could still get, again, wind gusts, heavy rainfall, heavy downpours, small hail. Definitely going to be what we'll talk about a little bit more as we get towards this time tomorrow into early Saturday morning. But that's going to be the main consensus there.
100% agree. What did I do with my chat? I'm sorry. In between Onaway and Tower, it was bad about 15 minutes ago and seemed to head towards Onaway. I could only see the lightning heading towards Onaway, but now it seems to again. Yeah. So the boundary layer is the issue for the areas that could possibly see severe weather. Behind it, you're going to run into some lightning. You're going to run into rain. You're not going to run into severe conditions. So John, if you could back out
Yeah.
a little bit here, bring up the whole state.
You got it.
So this is what you're looking at. This is the boundary layer right here. So what you were talking about, Jordan, is this is moving to the north-northeast. This is where the severe potential is. Southwest of that, you're just running into rain, lightning, thunder. These are just average thunderstorms behind that boundary layer. No severe weather activity here. So right now what we're watching closely is the eastern UP. There could be a severe storm that pops up here going through Chippewa County. Right now this boundary layer is cruising off into Lake Huron, so Rogers City, Posen, areas in Sheboygan, these warnings will, or that warning there in Sheboygan will be expiring here shortly. Down in the Detroit area, that's where the boundary layer continues to be. That is heading now into Canada. Michigan is almost clear of any severe potential here going through the rest of the night. Gaylord has been hit so bad with completely out of power from ice storm to all this bad weather. You know, I was talking about it earlier. It's almost 3 years to the day. What is it, May 20th or 22nd? 20th? 23rd? 20th?
I can't remember.
I should remember.
Off the top of my head.
But yeah, I mean, Gaylord's kind of been in the middle of some crazy weather. Most of Northern Michigan with that ice storm, northeast counties. But yeah, with this, it's just the pattern setup.
May
These low
20th.
pressure, May 20th, yeah. These pattern setups right now is a low pressure system off to our west. And when you have a low pressure system off to our west, it swings up that warm front. And wherever that cold front is, if the conditions are right, you're going to get that severe activity right into Michigan. That's what happens when you have the low pressure systems off to our west. You tend to see that severe weather swing right up. And that's what we've been seeing here for the last several months. You tend to get these when you switch El Nino, La Nina patterns. And right now we're leaving La Nina and heading into neutral. So we're starting to open the southwest flow back open, and that's what's giving us these low pressure systems. Of course, Steve. Of course, Jordan. So appreciate you all being here. Kind of run through this right now. They have just expired the Sheboygan severe thunderstorm warning. It is now still over the Mackinac County warning is Boblo and Mackinac Islands. It's not actually into Mackinac County, the landlocked county. It is the islands. So Mackinac Island and Boblo Island still have a warning, but that is now kind of to the northeast. They're about 5 minutes away from being out of that boundary layer. The boundary layer itself is just now right over the immediate Lake Huron shoreline and continuing to head to the northeast. And right now, areas in there in Chippewa County, eastern Mackinac County, that is what we're watching closely. Areas up towards Rudyard right now could be waking up to some pretty loud rumbles of thunder, some hefty rain, possibly some brief gusty winds. Nothing severe right now, but again, that is moving to the northeast and recycling, refreshing itself. It's running into that fresh air that hasn't been touched there in the eastern UP. What do temperatures look like up there?
Let's take a look. I'm glad you asked.
I'm wondering what this is running into. I haven't looked at much of the eastern UP for temperatures today.
Let's see.
I've been standing so long, my knees hurt. Getting old. 63, 67, okay. So it's still got some juicy air.
But you can
not super juicy.
But you can kind of see
that boundary layer.
Right, literally. You see these little greens, kind of. I know the numbers are big, but right where, yeah, you've got some of those greens right near Mackinac Island, southern Mackinac County, even towards the tip of Presqu'île. Yeah, that's literally indications, at least to me, of where you are seeing those still your winds converging.
Yep. And where you have your east winds, that is playing into that boundary layer. So that is why those storms are refiring over the eastern UP. They still have that support and lift from those east winds. Remember how I was telling you earlier today about, or yesterday, I was telling you about shear. Shear is a main component when it comes to severe weather, especially tornadic activity. The shear was very hefty across Michigan today. And that's kind of what is helping lift aid these storms right now in the eastern UP. Right now we don't have any severe warnings in the eastern UP. Well, I take that back. Boblo and Mackinac Island, technically in the eastern UP, Mackinac Island, or Mackinac County. These areas right now in Chippewa and eastern Mackinac counties, these storms are recycling, refreshing. We'll continue to watch them. Right now, not severe, but they could possibly turn severe with winds upwards of 60 miles per hour, possibly some sizable hail, something we'll watch very closely here for you guys. Spar area getting some pretty impressive rain amounts in a short amount of time. Yeah, that's probably the other thing you're going to see with these storms in the UP. These ones are probably going to be the rainmakers. That's one thing we haven't seen a ton of with these storms. Is the flooding concern was very minimal with these storms.
Yeah, and the big reason why of that is because these storms, they were moving at a pretty good clip, and when you have that type of situation, yes, when you have the storm on top of you, you can get a really good downpour for a good 5 or 10 minutes, but once it moves out,
It's done.
you're talking maybe about moderate rain at best. So not enough to be a huge flooding concern. Now, if we were seeing these storms move a little bit slower and we had it not more so in a what we call a quasi-linear line, that's when you can start to get a lot more moisture just within the storm itself, and it can dump very, very quickly. So at least we had that going for us. We'll take positives.
Well,
when we
it
can.
was like somebody said, we need the rain. We do need the rain.
Yes, we do.
We needed this. So this is very, we'll take it. Andrew, of course, anytime. That's what we're here for. John, calming down in Ypsilanti. Good. Glad to hear that.
Okay.
Thunder and
Washtenaw
rain
County.
on the west side of Higgins Lake right now. Yeah, so we'll explain this again, John, if you could back out. So the boundary layer here, or where the potential for severe weather is right here. So all of these areas back towards Gaylord, Charlevoix, Petoskey, yes, you have yellows, maybe a little bit of light red mixed in. You're going to see the rain. You're going to have some thunderstorms, but the severe threat is not there. This is just leftovers behind the boundary layer. So this is just what you're going to be running into. It's not going to be severe. You're okay. You're not going to have any issues. It's right here, this boundary layer, that we're continuing to see these storms fire and actually take the energy away from these areas. So if you're southwest of this yellow line that John drew, you're good. Thunder might not let you get back to sleep, but
Personally, it helps me.
it
But,
helps
you
me
know,
too. But the severe weather potential here for the lower peninsula is gone. It's out. The boundary layer is now up here. The eastern UP is what we're watching closely. Eastern Mackinac, central and eastern Chippewa County. In fact, we'll probably be done here.
Yeah, I'd say very soon.
Pretty soon.
Our boundary layer at this point is now moving over Lake Huron.
Yep.
I would still say areas into very eastern Mackinac County, even going towards areas into Detour Village, potentially even Drummond Island. Still keep an eye on this over the next 15, 30 minutes. We'll see exactly how the boundary behaves as it moves back onto land. But I would say almost anywhere, Rudyard's, you're still seeing a pretty good storm right now moving through your region.
I would say hit velocity.
Yeah.
See what we can make out of this. So velocity is showing us the wind speeds aloft, and this is how you can always make out rotation. There's clearly no rotation with this boundary layer.
No.
Tornadic activity is not the issue for the eastern UP or Lake Huron shoreline.
Nope.
But you can see the winds, these light colors, these bright colors. Yeah, you're still getting some pretty good wind gusts. They're not severe, but you're still seeing winds upwards of 40s, close to 50. So that's below severe criteria. So yes, you might be in Wolverine and might be seeing some gusty winds, or you might be in Pellston seeing some gusty winds. Again, that is the outflow from the boundary layer.
Right.
So you're going to continue to see rather windy conditions, but it's not severe. Doesn't mean stuff won't break and fall. It just means we're not seeing severe winds. But yes, you're continuing to see those gusty winds for the tip of the mitt right now. That's the outflow from the boundary layer. The boundary layer is moving. Imagine it like this. If you're on a lake in a boat and you're driving the boat, right? Behind it, you're seeing that outflow. You're seeing the waves.
We just got a new severe thunderstorm warning.
Oh, I thought somebody was texting me.
It was the
texting
National
me.
Weather
It was
Service.
the National Weather Service.
See,
This is
there
why
you-
we're watching.
There you go.
Chip-
right here.
Eastern-
Chippewa. Yep.
So again, This is like the boat. It's creating that wake. So that boundary layer is moving through. It's leaving behind it those winds. That is what you're seeing right now on the tip of the mitt. It's not severe, but it is leaving you with gusty winds, rain, some thunder and lightning. This is where the severe part is, because you have these cells continuing to blow up on that boundary layer. Like we've been telling you, what we've seen all day is this line of storms just continue to refresh and recycle from Minnesota to Wisconsin, crossing Lake Michigan into Michigan. It's refreshed and recycled 3 times in the state of Michigan alone. So that is how crazy this line of storms has been. If you're wondering what I mean by refresh or recycle, storms go through periods of where they kind of run out of juice, but then they get aid. There's another little section that boosts those clouds up, ramps them back up, gives them more juicy conditions, if you will, to reform and continue on their way. This has refreshed and recycled since 3 p.m. this afternoon in Minnesota all the way to the Lake Huron shoreline several times. And that is what we've been watching all evening. So right now we do have a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Chippewa and eastern Mackinac counties until 2:15 a.m. So this is Les Genoux, Hessel, Cedarville, Detour Village, Drummond Island. I'm just going to throw you in there.
Yeah, because
to be quite honest with you, I don't think the National Weather Service actually can mark Drummond Island.
That's a great question.
If I recall correctly, I don't know if Drummond Island's actually included on the maps.
But you're still in that line.
You're still in that line.
Before the boundary layer gets there, and
Yeah.
if Gaylor decided to go
So
with
Drummond
the,
Island, if you're watching, I'm including you.
Sure.
But yes, this area, you need to be on the watch for extremely gusty winds. I could have looked it on my phone.
Let me go ahead and
60
pull up
miles per hour.
Yeah, let
I'm
me pull up
assuming.
the bulletin. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size tail.
Okay. Quarter size hail. That's some decent size hail.
Mm-hmm.
Hessel, Cedarville, moving northeast at 35. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, radar indicated, but to be quite honest with you, we just showed you. We showed you with the winds and we showed you with the radar. But again, these areas need to be, I would say, be up. Look at your safe place. Again, this is not tornadic. We are not seeing rotation. This is just the boundary layer moving through and the storm's still getting support from that fresh air that it hasn't run into in a while. The eastern UP, you saw a good amount of sunshine and heat today. So that is continuing to move the east. Tina, Onaway is good. You were clear. So yes, right now it is eastern Mackinac, southeastern Chippewa. I'm including Drummond Island because you're more than likely going to see some of this work its way into you. But that severe thunderstorm warning goes until 2:15 this morning, and we'll continue to cover this for you. You know what? Do you think Haley's going to get here before we leave?
It's going to be close.
All 3 of us here.
Wouldn't that be
By
something?
accident.
Maybe we can have breakfast.
Maybe have breakfast.
I'm getting hungry.
I'm getting
I honestly
hungry.
did not have time to eat dinner today because I knew it was going to be a busy day.
That's right. As soon as you were like, he said, I'm going to go eat, and all of a sudden we got a tornado watch.
I was like, nope.
Got word Atlanta is picking back up. I mean, Atlanta will have those gusty winds like we just explained, but they are in the clear for any severe activity. It is just this outflow. It is outflow from the boundary layer, the wake, if you will. It is just windy, rainy, nothing severe. The last little bits here from the Lake Huron shoreline is Alpena. Looks like right now Thunder Bay, but that is again leaving. The boundary layer right here.
So yeah, Sheboygan, you're out of the clear. Your warning's expired.
Yep.
I should say you're in the
Pablo and
clear.
Mackinac Island still have their warning. If you're tuning in from there, more than likely you had some gusty winds and
I would
heavy
say
rain.
the worst has passed.
Yes.
At least through the island.
Again, here is that boundary layer that we've been watching, and we told you we'd continue to watch into the eastern UP. That is where the severe activity is going to be and continue as it heads northeast. Again, gusty winds, possibly upwards of 60, 65 miles per hour. Sizable hail. and also torrential rain. That is going to continue to move in the eastern UP. If you back out, John, let's show the lower peninsula.
Sure.
This is the outflow from that boundary layer. You are now in the clear. If you're in the lower peninsula, everyone here, you're good to go. There's a few storms popping up over Lake Michigan, but that is nothing of concern. The outflow is the end of the severe weather.
Yeah, and I would even say for folks still watching us potentially from downstate, I mean, you can see a lot of these warnings really starting to come to an end, diminish, cancel, expire. So that's good news. I mean, you can even see, yeah, that boundary layer if you're going farther south. Here, let me go ahead and circle it.
It actually did not develop for the Adrian areas, which I was surprised in.
So here it is, and we'll kind of do this roughly, but
Yep, there you go.
that's your boundary layer right there. So anything west, south,
Right here.
you're good.
This whole area, you're good.
Yeah.
The last little bits is going to be the eastern UP.
Yep.
So southeastern Chippewa, eastern Chippewa,
So at this
eastern
point,
Mackinac, Drummond Island, not forgetting you.
northern lower, I'd say you're.
Have you ever been to Drummond Island?
I have not.
Drummond Island is absolutely gorgeous.
Really?
I went there. My buddy Dan Bailey, who's from the island, born and raised, took us there on a golfing trip. They have a golf course, really nice golf course.
Oh, I would love to play golf out there.
We stayed for a few nights and golfed, and it was a heck of a time. Drummond Island, thank you for giving us a wonderful time. But it's really cool. We got to go on the ferry, go across the opening of St. Mary's right there, and into Drummond Island. And he showed us around the island. It's really nice.
Very cool.
So Drummond Island, be on the lookout. I don't
know,
want you to get hurt.
I know my sister, she was doing her nursing school up at Sault Ste. Marie at Lake Superior.
Lake Superior State.
And she did a lot of, I think, clinicals or work on Sugar
Island? Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Yep, Sugar Island, the spot that got 40 inches of snow around Thanksgiving. So, yeah, these areas, again, eastern Mackinac, southeastern Chippewa, you have that severe thunderstorm warning until 2:15. If you're waking up and tuning into us on socials right now, you have gusty winds, some sizable hail, heavy rain. That potential is going to continue to move to the northeast. That boundary layer is the last little bits of severe potential right now, and right now it's moving through the eastern UP. Just typical Michigan, still better than snow. I will agree with you.
I mean, we've got our
What about Port
snowbirds, our snow lovers.
Let me check. Port Huron, last I knew, you should be in the clear.
They might still be holding on to a warning.
I think Sarnia is, it should be east, it should be in Sarnia now. It should be east of Port Huron. They still have a warning, but I think the boundary layer is past them. Or maybe not.
Port Huron, you said?
Yeah. It's down south. 69, I think.
Wait, what am I thinking of? Port Austin.
Here's the thumb. It's down by Sarnia. Yep, keep
Okay,
going.
okay. I got Port Austin and Port Huron mixed up.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, right by 69. Okay.
Yeah, you're still in the warning if you back out. Yeah, there is still this.
145. Oh,
I think that's it.
pretty much now.
Right. So yeah, they're about to be cleared out. They're about to be in the clear, I should say, not cleared out. That's terrible. Marine City.
That is Sanilac. I know you're in the thumb.
What?
Marine City.
Did the Gaylord tornado watch expire? Yes, it did, Nick. Yep. Wayne County. Wayne is just seeing the last little bits of some storms right now. Detroit is seeing them.
Detroit just had a pretty nasty storm.
Yep. It was just severe thunderstorm though, not a tornado. And so again, this is all due. Yeah, there's that storm now rolled through.
Mm-hmm.
Tigers didn't play tonight, so it's okay.
Yes.
But this was the cell that we saw back towards Ann Arbor and Saline
Right.
and Canton. And it worked its way and refreshed and recycled just before it got to Detroit, and now is falling apart as it works its way into Windsor. But you can see it's all starting to move into Ontario. There's that boundary layer. It's actually, moving into Canada as we speak. But the boundary layer up here for us, the impact is the eastern UP. This is the last little bits of severe potential. So these areas in eastern Mackinac, southeastern Chippewa County, that is where we're seeing the last little bits of severe weather.
They did drop the warning for Mackinac Island.
The event, Tornado Watch, the last little bits for our area has been canceled. So the Tornado Watch is now gone for Aranac and Iosco counties. So that's gone.
Okay, 2:15, so you got about another half hour, but I'd say once we get through this, we're, at least for, well, our friends in Ontario still might have a little rowdy night, but...
Right. This is going to be the last little bits here, and you can actually see it's falling apart here as it's coming off the lake.
Mm-hmm.
That little shift northeast there, you see that, the last two frames. That is actually starting to kill it. So a little bit of a lake breeze still helping, but the boundary layer, well, I can't say that. This cell right here has me wondering about the warning for southeastern Chippewa and Drummond Island. That cell might still pack a punch. It's feeding off the boundary layer. So we'll continue to watch it. I'm starting to get a little bit of the sleep antsies. You know you're getting tired, but my legs want to move.
Right.
I've been standing for hours tonight.
It's been a...
Welcome to the life of a meteorologist.
Yes.
With ADHD. I need to move now. We should all just do jumping jacks together, folks. So we're watching this storm closely.
Starting to get a little bit off the cuff.
Off the cuff, yes. We're starting to get a little bit...
screwy.
Yeah. Sleep deprived. We'll just go with that.
I haven't slept much this week.
Eastern Mackinac, southeastern Chippewa County. This is starting to move north, so I wouldn't be surprised if Gaylord said, hey, eastern Chippewa in general. So along I-75 up to Sault Ste. Marie, you're definitely going to be in for some big rumbles of thunder here for the rest of this early morning. So Rudyard areas up towards Sault Ste. Marie, Kinross, these areas towards Rayber, Rocky Point, Cedarville, Hessel, Lasianos. Yeah, you're seeing these bigger storms roll in. Wind gusts upwards of 60, 65 miles per hour. Sizable hail, torrential rain. That is what's continuing to work its way to the north-northeast. You can see it right there. That is going to continue to move north. Brimley, you are not under a severe thunderstorm warning, but you're more than likely probably getting a stronger storm currently moving through. And you can see all the way up towards Paradise, Whitefish Point. You might also be getting in on a thunderstorm here this early morning, but it's right here that we have the severe storms continuing to fall, or continuing to impact you, continuing to fall. I'm getting tired. Mike wants to go home and play video games. No. I want to go home and go to bed.
I can hear it calling you right now. Mike.
Even if it was, I wouldn't. But giving my Sioux area a shout, I was an honor roll student at Sioux area schools. Oh, nice, Nick.
Awesome.
Nice.
Good for you.
But yeah, that's our point of interest right now, is the eastern UP. So the lower peninsula, if you're watching us right now in the lower peninsula and you have to get up in a few hours for work, go to
northern
bed.
lower's good.
You're clear. The boundary layer is north of you. It is now the eastern UP's turn. That is what we're watching closely. And like we mentioned, this one has been absolutely nailed when it came to the forecast.
Oh,
our window was
100%.
10 p.m. to 3 a.m. 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. Like, this is nailed. This is what the technology allows us to do nowadays. Yes, it is not always going to be this perfect, but what we saw coming,
it's never
36
perfect.
hours away. The last 3 runs, it never changed.
Right.
Right?
Very
we knew
consistent.
exactly when it was coming into the shoreline. We knew exactly what to expect, and that boundary layer lined right up with what we saw coming 2 days ago.
Yep.
So this is what is cool about the technology now. Back in the old days, we would not be able to do this. The fact that we can bring you this the
on
way
your
we are,
smartphone, probably laying in bed right now, just
saying what's going on.
scrolling and putting a comment in.
That is what is awesome about this.
Yeah.
And you don't have to rely on trying to get on and find a TV.
Yep.
We can do this now this way in many different fashions. And if we do have to be on TV, all we have to do is hit a button. So we can be on TV and socials live.
Right.
So right now, so it looks like southeastern Chippewa County for the most part. So it looks like eastern Mackinac County, that's falling apart rather quickly. These storms are running into non-active air. Yeah, these storms really don't know what to do right now in the
Less
eastern UP.
favorable.
There you go, less favorable air.
I got you.
It is definitely not supporting these storms. So it looks like this will be the last refresh for these storms. So with that being said, areas towards Rayburn, Pickford, Rocky Point, Detour Village, Drummond Island, still be on your toes here, because still have some rather gusty winds, possibly some torrential rain, maybe a little bit of hail with this still.
Mm-hmm.
Actually hit the hail signature, see if we're
Sure.
still getting some. Oh yeah, just towards Rudyard. Oh, it looks like Bablo actually had some pretty good hail on the north end.
I'd be interested, to see if maybe we got a viewer photo from the island.
Right there. That is the cell that I'm watching for Detour Village, far southeast corner. That hail core right there, that is kind of what I have. My sneaking suspicion will be impacting these areas here very shortly. So we'll watch that closely. Yeah, you can see that cell right there. That's moving north. If it continues to feed off the water with that hail core, you'll be holding on to that warning a little bit longer, I think, southeast Chippewa. So we'll watch that closely. But central Chippewa here, Brimley, you're getting into that heavier rain, some pretty good rumbles of thunder. Rudyard, you should be good to go. Rudyard, you are beyond the boundary layer now. Areas into Mackinac, western Chippewa, Luce County, you're good to go. You're free from the boundary layer.
I
You
would
can
say,
go to bed.
if you're west of I-75,
Yeah, you're good
for
to
the
go.
most part, you're pretty good.
The St. Mary's River here. This is where our attention is too. It's kind of like election night. We have this last little bit right here. Our eyes are here. It's like, this is what we're down to. So
Right.
yeah, it's down to the St. Mary's River. That is where our eyes are turned to, because that's the last little bit of severe activity right now, is right here. That is where the potential is for some severe weather left.
Let me just go ahead and pull up the velocity real quick and get some.
As soon as you get home, you'll both be wide awake. To be honest with you, and not to sidetrack off our severe weather here, it takes 5 minutes and I'll fall asleep. I could down a Red Bull and I'll fall asleep.
It depends on the night for me.
And the reason why that works for me is because I worked 11 and a half years on MTM, on the morning show. So my body's just programmed to sleep when I need it to sleep. But I can stay awake for a very long time.
Yes, college really tested those limits.
Oh, very much so.
Let's we'll just say that lightly.
When you had to take home, thermo homework,
Now you're going to give me nightmares
do
before
4
I go to
pages of
sleep.
equations.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Because
Yeah,
I did have nightmares of me failing an exam, or it was the night before an exam.
Yep.
And I'm like, I stayed up late, I filled up the whiteboard, I would study, and then I'm like, you should probably go to bed, because, your brain requires some sleep in order to function during the next day. So if you want to actually take the test, go to bed. And then when you graduate, they were like, oh, the sleepless nights or whatever, those will probably continue into your career sometimes. So I'm like, okay. So we're ready,
Right.
No big deal. No big deal.
We're ready. How is Tawas doing? Tawas, you're in the clear, May. Whitestone, Augrey, Hale, all in the clear.
Yeah,
Boundary layer is
northern lower, you're good.
Yep.
I mean, you're still gonna probably hear some rumbles.
Yep.
You could even get a few
So-
small cells. I mean, even take a look back near Benzie County, you're still getting just a few, but it's
They're
it's
tiny.
what we call leftover.
Yep,
I mean,
leftovers.
it's
Back out, John.
yeah.
So what we were explaining to everyone is this is the boundary layer. This is where the potential is for severe weather. So you can see it's just the eastern UP left. The lower peninsula here, this is outflow from the boundary layer. So there's still some rather gusty winds in here. It's just rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder, but this isn't anything severe, and it can't be severe. The outflow is just what's left after these storms are taking all the energy. So this boundary layer right here stretches from Whitefish Point all the way down into Lake Huron. So you can see everything in the lower peninsula is clear of that boundary layer. That boundary layer is what is going to dictate severe weather. It's not what's behind it. So this is clear. If you're waking up and you still have thunderstorms, you still have rain, you still have some rather gusty winds, and you're in the lower peninsula, it's the outbound, or the outflow. The boundary layer to the north right now is still impacting the eastern UP. We still have that severe thunderstorm warning in southeastern Chippewa County and far eastern Mackinac County. That goes until 2:15. I wouldn't be surprised to see this extended though, because there are a few cells right here, especially moving into southeastern Chippewa County, that has an impressive hail core. So we'll continue to watch that very closely. But lower peninsula is clear, no issues. You're just still seeing some rain, breezy winds, and some rumbles of thunder. That is just the outflow from the boundary layer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's typically normal. But right now what we're seeing is this cell still moving to the north. And so the areas east of I-75 in the eastern UP, that is our last little section that still has the potential for severe weather. And that's what we're continuing to watch. So right now there's that hail core. That is the cell I was talking about before. That, I think, is going to make this either extended, or maybe they saw it coming. I mean, it's getting close to southeast.
I mean, I would say even areas probably even near Cedarville,
Yeah.
Pickford, going even as far east as Drummond Island.
Yes, Mary Beth. Wexford County, all good to go to sleep. You're not in Wexford County, are you? Thought you were way far south than that. But yes, Wexford County is good. Lower Peninsula is all good. Now, tomorrow, or no, not tomorrow, sorry. We are in Friday. Tonight, so Friday night and into Saturday morning, we do have the potential again for some isolated severe storms.
Yeah, let me pull that up real quick.
This is kind of going to be identical to what we had tonight, but not nearly the severity.
Yep.
It is going to be very rocky in Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio tomorrow. But for us, we could see another line of storms.
Here's a little sneak peek at your Friday forecast.
Yes.
So waking up tomorrow, so we had a lot of rain.
Yep.
And
a lot of moisture.
If you remember even from yesterday, especially areas near the lakeshore, Grand Traverse, near the Straits, the fog was pretty thick. And you can even see it right here, right over the water. Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, even into the Saginaw Bay, that's fog. So we still could talk about some foggy conditions, especially near the lakeshore into the morning.
A lot of moisture.
Yep. So by the afternoon...
What happens when you start warming that moisture up?
Right.
Starts rising.
As we get into the afternoon, it's going to be a nice day.
Yep.
It's going to be
Sunny.
very similar to what we had earlier today. And remember, sunshine on days where we have chances for storms helps to destabilize the atmosphere and give us what we call CAPE, convective available potential energy. So what does the atmosphere have to work with for storm development?
Or in layman's terms, fuel.
Correct. And then as we get into the evening, so that's 6 o'clock, still looking pretty good, but you can already start to see development off to our west.
That will start working its way in.
That's going to continue to move in. So that's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and even look downstate too. South of Mount Pleasant, you're still seeing some storms. So
I don't think that the shear is nearly as good tomorrow.
Right.
Which is one reason why we'll be kind of limited, but
so 11 o'clock, midnight, and then even still right there, 1 o'clock, 2
we might
o'clock.
be here again with you tomorrow night.
And hope you
Bring it
weren't-
all in.
Hope you aren't sick of us yet.
So yeah, that is going to be the second round, but behind that second round comes the change.
Right.
And that's colder air and
Yeah, this weekend,
Spring.
while we have you on here, okay, so here's the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Again, so put in perspective, earlier this evening, especially in our south and western zones, we were talking about a level 3. So
Yep.
it's that orange shading that you see. And then most of northern lower was in the 2,
Yep.
in the yellow.
slight
So now we're talking about the level 1. So
Marginal.
it is marginal. Yep, it is a lower risk, but it's still a risk.
Yes.
So
That is mainly strong storms, but you could have some isolated severe storms.
correct. And then a sneak peek into the weekend. While we have it on here for you, why not? So as we go,
That.
yeah. Well, actually, this is not correct because it updated one day. So
It's true. I forgot about that.
yeah,
We are now past midnight, so our graphics update.
automatically update.
So the
Actually,
7 days
let
not
me
correct
see.
because we'd have to actually make it back up. That's right. No, yeah, that's right.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not. The temperatures aren't right.
Okay, well, ignore everything I just said. But the weekend is going to be cooler compared to the 70s and 80s we were talking about.
Yep.
50s
50s and 60s.
50s and 60s.
40s and 50s. on
And
Sunday.
I will mention,
I will tell you this. 2 days ago, I saw snow in the UP on Sunday.
I saw that in your forecast, and I was like, whoa.
That was a 12Z, no. Yeah, that was a 12Z Euro update.
Okay. I will say, though, now that we're getting much more into the growing season, we'll watch Saturday night, but especially Sunday night. We are going to be probably talking widespread 30s
Yep.
for the overnight.
So you're going to have to think about
So
frost.
we're going to be thinking, not only about frost, potentially a hard freeze. We'll have to see how the numbers shake out as we get closer to the weekend, but just something to keep in mind for the overnight period for your gardens, your flowers, your trees, anything like that.
All right, to kind of give you an idea here, we are, I would say, a matter of about 10 minutes away from ending our severe potential here.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying that is this boundary layer is now getting a boost to the east. So you can see the last little bits of this severe warning.
They're probably going to drop Mackinac here very soon.
Yes, Mackinac will be dropped here shortly. But southeastern Chippewa and Drummond Island, like I said, I'm including you on this because you are going to get just a little bit of a pop here. That is where we are seeing still possibly some gusty, extremely gusty winds, as well as some sizable hail, but also some torrential rains. That is continuing to move here through southeastern Chippewa.
And I will say, downstate, even areas near Wayne, Monroe County, they did cancel the tornado watch. So I would say at this point, all of the lower
Who would have
peninsula.
thought the last little bits to ride this out was the eastern UP?
Right.
I never would have actually thought that. But yeah, eastern UP.
Here we are.
You're the last ones to see the
You're the
boundary
holdout.
layer. You're the holdout. So right now, yeah, there you go.
They
John
just-
called it. Mackinac County just got expired. Southeast Chippewa County, now the last severe thunderstorm warning.
Mike, you need some water?
No, I have some Gatorade.
Oh, okay, great.
What I am going to need here very shortly, though, is a bathroom.
Oh, yes, me too.
I've had so much water and Gatorade. But yes, right now that severe thunderstorm warning continues for Detour Village. That area right now seeing some impressive returns off of Lake Huron. And in fact, that is the hail core storm that we were watching over northern Lake Huron that had quite a bit of hail in it and right now impacting Detour Village. Drummond Island as well. And like I mentioned, I wouldn't be surprised if they can't actually add Drummond Island to the warning. If I recall correctly, there's something in the National Weather Service mapping that it actually can't add Drummond Island
Yeah,
because I think it's actually technically.
that's a great question.
Somebody asked me about that years ago, and I was like looking at it. Anytime there's a warning for something or a watch for this entire area, Drummond Island's never included. So there's something geographically about it that the mapping never got a hold of.
Okay.
So I would have to say Drummond Island, you're included in this, and that's why I'm saying it. If you're on Drummond Island, expect some hail, gusty winds,
Yeah,
and some very
because
heavy
you have
rain.
a pretty discreet cell now just moving on shore over the southwest portion of the island.
Yes. So if you're on Drummond Island right now,
Pretty much right where the ferry would probably take you from Chippewa County to the island.
yes,
It's
right there.
Not looking too good right now.
so that area is right now seeing probably some sizable hail, but also winds possibly upwards of 60 miles per hour. So again, southeastern Chippewa County, and I'm including Drummond Island on that, is hitting over the Sioux right now. Yeah, Sioux's right there. That is losing a lot of steam. In fact, if you wanted to, John, flip on Montreal River radar. So we do have a radar in Canada for this area, so we can see lake effect in the winter. And you can see that there is a little bit of storm there in Sault Ste. Marie, but definitely not the core that we're seeing down here in southeastern Chippewa. So Sault Ste. Marie, yeah, more than likely you're going to see some brief gusty winds. You're going to hear some pretty good rumbles of thunder, but it shouldn't be anything of severe criteria. So if you are waking up in the Sioux and tuning in, yeah, you have a storm cruising through, but here's that boundary layer. That boundary layer is about to be clear of pretty much everybody in our viewing area. That is the one thing that's holding on to severe potential right now, is that boundary layer. And that is what's moving northeast here. So again, severe thunderstorm warning still for southeastern Chippewa. Drummond Island, if you're waking up wondering what's going on, you have actually a really nice little cell on top of you right now at the moment. So there you go.
Caitlin just said it's hitting the Sioux right now.
Yeah, that's what I was reading off chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just kind of explaining that there isn't much to it up in the Sioux at the moment. And again, anybody who's seeing this in the Lower Peninsula, hopefully you're asleep. You
Right.
should be able
Go to bed.
Yeah.
Go to bed for us.
Go to bed for us, yes, please. Please. But yeah, that's an impressive hail signature over the island right now. And there's not really any velocity. Well, there's a little bit, but nothing major. So yeah, that purple that you're seeing, that is more than likely a hail core. Maybe not. There's a swath. There it is. And then the Barron button. What do we got for damage area? Yeah, you can see there's hail. So, boop, no lapse. There you go. That's kind of the hail core. Show you that right now. So one reason why this is severe is, one, winds could be upwards of 60 miles per hour, but also that is a probable hail return that is hitting Drummond Island. So yeah, we still have some really good hail returns with this latest cell, and that's why I'm thinking they made it 215. 215 is going to hit, and the boundary layer is actually going to be out of here. That's impressive on National Weather Service's part. So they actually nailed the timing on this perfectly. So there you go. Southeastern Chippewa County still have that severe thunderstorm warning until 2:15 for this cell. Drummond Island, I've included you in that because I don't think National Weather Service can. But again, the boundary layer is now crossing the St. Mary's River. That is the last little bits of severe criteria. I'm in Meredith in Clare, Gladwin County in Lower Peninsula. I don't want to go to sleep yet. I'm a night owl. You got it, Andrew. You can stay up. You can stay up. You can watch this back if you want. It'll be on.
Yeah, we love feedback. We love
watch it all back. Watch the last 4 or 5
know.
hours. I feel like I should have been playing video games this entire time. This is what I usually do.
I'm trying to think, what do I usually do?
Driving home. No, are you sleeping yet?
What was that?
Are you sleeping yet by 2 a.m.?
Not usually, no. You know, sometimes it's in and out on the lazy boy.
Yeah, it depends.
You know how that goes.
Yeah, all depends. Usually
You
when
put
you
the
get
show
out of work,
on, you think you're going to
adrenaline
watch
hits.
it.
I just got a text from my wife. She said, "Are you still at work?" I was like, "Yes, I'm still at work." I actually did not think it would be this kind of crazy at first, but once I saw what was happening in Wisconsin.
Once we started seeing the interaction probably with the lake boundary or the lake breeze, that gave us, no pun intended, a second wind.
Yeah, it did, because we saw what was funny is you couldn't make the boundary layer out until it started interacting with that Lake Huron breeze.
Right.
And then you saw a distinct boundary layer that said, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
There is the edge of that warm front.
Now,
And
if
it
we
moved
were
right through.
anywhere else in the country, this probably wouldn't be happening. We are in a very specific spot where we have these lakes, and you can get different types of wind directions off of these lakes, and
That's how they impact
that's
your
a
weather.
big reason, yeah.
And that's why Michigan is very unique in every aspect when it comes to weather. The difference in variables tonight from Lake Michigan to Lake Huron, and what we got was crazy.
Yep.
So coming up with tomorrow, we'll update you with all of the potential tornado reports. National Weather Service is going to be very busy tomorrow.
Yep.
National Weather Service in Grand Rapids and Detroit are definitely going to be out and about inspecting. Gaylord didn't have anything, but we'll definitely be keeping an eye on those
I'll
stories.
come over here for a sec.
Oh yeah, go for it.
But yeah, just know that when we're talking about tornadoes and classifying them,
Yep.
the National Weather Service goes out in what's called a survey report. So they will survey damage, they will look at anything down with trees, power lines, barns, houses, anything that has potential damage. And based off of the amount of damage and the destructiveness of whatever damage there is, that's mainly the reason or how we categorize a tornado, because we're not taking exact readings when the tornado occurs. That's something you have to think about. If we had that capability, we could probably even give you much better information, based off of what's going on. But obviously, you're not going to have a surveyor or a spotter in the middle of a vortex. Not a good place to be.
Nope.
So that is the main place, or the main reason, or how. Words are hard right now. Can you tell? I can't.
It's 2:12 a.m.
Is it really?
Yes.
Wow.
But
All right.
yeah,
Well-
once you get this late into the day, I mean, you're almost 12 hours.
I was about to say, yeah. Well, you got me beat, so I can't complain.
You start the words, they might fumble around in your head, but they
Yeah.
don't come out of the mouth
Yeah.
correctly. So we still have the last little bits of this severe thunderstorm holding on to southeastern Chippewa County, close to the St. Mary's River. Drummond Island is getting a nice little hail core right now in the western half of the island. This is probably giving you some rather gusty winds, possibly some pretty heavy rain as well. But again, I'm not sure, Drummond Island, that you can get a severe thunderstorm warning from National Weather Service, but I'm including you in this. This is definitely one of the strongest signatures we've seen in quite some time, since it left the lower peninsula anyway. But it is crossing the St. Mary's River. Here's that boundary layer. It is now starting to exit our area. In fact, it is crossing international waters. So we will be probably in 2 minutes saying goodnight to you
we'll
all.
just we'll ride it out. We
Let
we
John
made it
go
this
home.
far.
Let me wobble home 3 miles. But yeah, we will.
Want to trade?
No, not yet. Soon we will trade. But yeah, this is continuing to impact the St. Mary's River, and we'll be out of here within the next 5 minutes. But I am pretty certain they will probably let this expire at 2:15.
Yeah, I doubt they extend it.
How many are still hanging with us? Give thumbs up. Yeah, leave your thumbs up. See how many are actually still with us. I'm here, but my thumbs are
We're physically here.
physically here, mentally not all
Mentally, I'm in bed.
here. Yeah. You still gotta drive,
Yeah.
so you better get some.
I do. You know what I'm going to
Here
do
we go.
first? I'm going to eat something.
Yeah, eat something first.
I'm going to eat something, and then I'll drive.
Should have
home.
brought you something.
Oh, I got plenty of food in the fridge.
Better boy.
Yeah. Oh, we're ready. We knew.
But no, thank you for everybody who is tuned into our coverage here tonight. We were live on TV, live here on socials, but this is one of those storms that we knew, and we said when we have these plans of being on social for coverage like this, we told ourselves you have to have multi-county warnings.
Yep.
Tonight what we saw was an impressive boundary layer that started in Minnesota, worked its way across Wisconsin with several tornadoes and severe thunderstorms, worked its way across Lake Michigan, and then worked its way through the entire state of Michigan. So this storm was a doozy from start to finish in Minnesota to now. And there you go. They expired. Oh, no. Is it still there? No, I think I can't tell.
I was say you're
Still
at
there.
215. We're at 215,
Should expire.
and there it goes.
There it goes. Gone now. So there you go. So yeah, this was an impressive storm. We'll kind of recap it and get some things together tomorrow. I'm sure we'll be able to see more come morning time and see what damage is out there.
Yep.
We'll get an idea on power outages. I'm sure those will be restored here throughout the day tomorrow. But thank you guys for being here. We do appreciate it. Hopefully everyone is good, safe. Hopefully everyone's families are good and safe. Thank you everyone for tuning in from downstate that was asking us questions. That's kind of why we do this. So,
Yep.
For meteorologist John Gross over there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Michael Stevens. We appreciate you all. Be good, stay safe, take care. We'll catch you all tomorrow on 910 News throughout the day. Grab some sleep, and if we don't see you, have a wonderful weekend. Bye, everybody.